Welcome to Niminati Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today I'm answering your YouTube questions. It's not just me. I'm joined today by my brother from the same mother, D. D, what's up, man?
What is going on, everybody? I hope you had an awesome week. We are back again.
Indeed.
The Nimmons ride again.
Yep, indeed. Yep. Yeah, we're going to be answering your YouTube questions today. So if this is your first time in the stream, if you're hanging out waiting for us to get started, I do want to let you know that there is a form that is linked down in the description of the stream right now. So if you have a question, go ahead and get your question in there now. And if you do, it'll get answered on the stream today, 100%. So in addition to that, I do want to let everybody know that today's stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, which is the #1 tool for YouTube content creators. TubeBuddy will help you optimize your videos for discovery. It'll help you test your thumbnails to make sure that the thumbnails that you're making are effective for the people that you're trying to reach. In addition to that, YouTube, I'm sure you've probably seen the news. If not, we're going to be talking about it as well. But YouTube is putting out some A/B testing options as well.
Big news.
But one of the things that TubeBuddy is different there, because some people are saying in the comments of that video that that's going to be a big hit for TubeBuddy. But one thing that is different is with YouTube's, if you are somebody that is, taking a strategic approach in terms of trying to get your videos to show up in search for sustainability and things like that, then in that particular case, TubeBuddy actually shows you which thumbs are performing in the best places on YouTube, or the specific pages of YouTube, I should say, not the best places. So make sure you keep that in mind. But TubeBuddy has over 90 different tools that will help you with your YouTube channel, so you can try that for yourself at tubebuddy.com or /Nimin, or of course, I'll get a link to that in the description. In addition to that, we are co-brought to you by STREAMYARD, which is the live streaming platform that we use to stream this every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. And the reason we use STREAMYARD is because it's easy. Just calling it what it is. It's easy. It's reliable. It makes it easy to bring guests on. Makes it easy to add graphics to the screen. You can play background music. And it works as a great backup in the event that your internet goes down or you have some type of tech issue with your computer. It holds your stream open in the cloud. So if you have a problem that's technical on your computer side, then you don't have to lose everybody that's hanging out and start your stream all over again and go through that process. It just keeps everybody there. And then you can just come back in from your mobile device while you're getting everything fired back up, which is pretty awesome. But you can try that for yourself at StreamYard.com. Of course, I'll get a link to that down in the description, as well as a bunch of other helpful things for you as a content creator. So make sure that you check out the description as well. And yeah, I think we're ready to get into the questions. D,
yeah,
have a good week?
Yeah, I've had a great week. You got me covered up here.
Yeah.
So I refuse to speak until you uncover.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yep. I guess I need to make a different panel there. Or a new, I need to make a,
we could do like
I need to make one of these, but for that. Just going across the bottom.
You could just do like a D shape.
Yeah.
And I could just sit still.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fun fact, though, even though, we've live streamed a bajillion times between the two of us.
At least.
Yeah, we still have technical difficulties. And while he was speaking and I didn't get to showcase the wonderful StreamYard mug that's sitting here in front of us, I was fixing
hey, so they're having trouble right now. So basically, we're having technical difficulties.
What is it?
So they're having a problem between what they're seeing and what they're hearing. He says the audio is trash. Right now, everything's out of sync as one person. And then somebody said it's fixed and then it's bad again. So I wonder if this is happening from...
It could be a YouTube issue.
Yeah, possibly. On the mic is breaking up too. Oh, this is great. I wonder if it's because we were over there fiddling with it with the headphones.
It shouldn't be. Our signal's about the same.
So it's better with this view, she said. So the wide view, I guess it goes okay. Okay, it's synced up for... Okay, everything's fine now. So we're good. So yeah, it might have just been a sync issue with YouTube. Okay.
Oh, you know what?
Yep, so we're good. Yep,
yeah,
we're good.
it could have just been YouTube doing like YouTube stuff.
Sure. So anyway, welcome to the stream today. Hope that everybody's excited to learn about YouTube and learn everything about YouTube. If you are watching this on the replay, it's probably too late. You've probably left already from all the stuff that we just went through. But if you are still here, I do want to let you know that we add timestamps here to the stream. So if you are watching this on the replay, make sure you hit those timestamps. Look around for questions that might matter the most to you, and just hop right to that question and get the information from that. But I encourage you to sit back and listen to all of it, because you might learn a lot from questions that other people have asked that you might want to know the answer to, but you never really thought to ask the question itself. So make sure you check out everything. And I hope everybody's doing great. Shark Scrapper, what's going on, man? Nice to see you in here. Genealogy with Amy Johnson Crow, nice to see you here as well. Scrap and Palette Man, hope you are doing great. Jerry Papandrea, nice to see you here as well. T's Hot Mess History, hope that you're doing great. Learn Spanish World, nice to see you also.
Christina Smallhorn in the house.
Christina Smallhorn in the house. What is going on, Christina? Did you know Christina has a course for real estate agents? Yeah, it's like a YouTube course for real estate agents.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so if you're a real estate agent, make sure you follow Christina Smallhorn because she has a course where they actually, because she's a real estate agent too, but they actually have a course for YouTube content creators as well. So make sure that you follow her for that. And yeah. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get into the questions.
I got one question before we start answering YouTube questions.
Okay, so a question before the questions. This is good. So this is like a pre-question question.
This is a pre-question, and it doesn't involve YouTube. This is like a personal question.
Okay.
How many people, show of hands, are watching Silo?
Show of hands.
Show of hands. You can put a hand up in the chat.
Yeah.
Put a little, how many people's watching Silo? We've been talking about Silo. Super pumped about Silo. Totally has nothing to do with YouTube, but that's how I wanted to roll.
Yeah,
I wanted to start the stream with Silo. Yeah,
it's good. Yeah. I'm watching it. Love it. Absolutely love Silo. I think it's interesting. I didn't expect a lot when I initially like clicked into it because I thought, just conceptually I was like, this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But man, am I hooked.
Some good storytelling.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's incredible. Love it. Absolutely.
Moving on. YouTube.
It's on Netflix. Or no, it's on Apple TV. Yeah. Silo is the name of it. It's pretty good.
Let's roll.
So the very first question that we have here on our list to get us into the YouTube stuff, we've got K Skis is our very first question. Man, I'm so used to not hearing myself that having this thing in my ear, it's just like super weird. Yeah, it's so funny because I'm used to just like raw dogging, so to speak.
Raw dogging the audio.
Yeah.
I can't believe you just said that on your own stream.
So yeah, it's just it's just a little bit awkward. But anyway, it says how is it that I can come up with more ideas for videos so that way I don't have to fall back on previous ideas? Because I've noticed more popular YouTubers do this as well, where they basically take the same video that they did but just change the who or what the video is about. So when it comes to video ideas, a great place to look for that is Google Trends around your topic, looking in YouTube search around your topic, and looking on places like Answer the Public for your topic. In addition to that, YouTube also has a research tab now that you'll find inside of your analytics. And in that research tab, they show you things that your audience specifically is looking for. And they also show you content gaps, which basically means that these are things that people are looking for, but there's not a lot of content on it. So that might be a good thing to fill. But when it comes to those sorts of things, you have the Jerry says raw dog and merch inbound.
You know what?
But
I'm going to protest that.
What, the merch? All right. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, but for the video ideas. So one thing that you can do when I mention YouTube search is you can go up just to the search bar. And when you go up to the search bar, one of the things that happen there is as soon as you start typing in the topic of what it is that you talk about, then YouTube is going to auto-suggest other things that people look for. So what you can do there is, let's say that in your case, you do gaming content. I'm not sure what games you play, but let's say, for example, you did Fortnite. Well, in that particular case, Fortnite would be the very first root thing that you would put in there, and you would hit Fortnite and then hit the space bar, and then YouTube's going to show you a bunch of stuff people are looking for. That does not mean that you have to optimize your video for search or, for that particular term, but it does mean that people are looking for that, right? So if you make something that a lot of people are looking for, then, it can increase your chances of, just getting that exposure because it's showing if more people are looking for it, that demonstrates that more people are actually interested in that topic, right? That's the idea. But using YouTube search for that is great. And when you're doing that, you could do Fortnite space A, and then it's going to show you a bunch of stuff there. Fortnite space B, and it's going to show you a bunch of stuff there. And you can just keep stacking onto that and get creative with how you're actually looking for things. And that can, like, if you sit down and you do that for an hour, you'll end up with more video ideas. And this is for every niche pretty much in here. You'll end up with so many video ideas that you'll never want for another video idea again, because you'll have, enough to just keep you going for, for your time here on YouTube.
Yeah, a weird thing happens. Once you wrap your head around the idea of how to come up with ideas, then you're going to find ideas everywhere. It's a hurdle. And once you get over that single hurdle, then YouTube ideas are that's no longer an issue,
right?
Like ever again. And
even other things too, like like when you are on YouTube's homepage and you're just on YouTube as a viewer, you're going to see a lot of stuff being recommended to you, and all you got to do is think to yourself like, hey, these videos that I like that I'm clicking on, is there any way that I could introduce that type of concept to what it is that I'm doing for my viewers, but related around my type of content, those types of things. Right. It can get you really far on on coming up with video ideas, and when you see other people doing something in another niche, then it's like, okay, well, if it's working there, it could possibly work for what I'm doing. So let me, experiment and see if it helps.
Get a super chat.
So super chat. Amy Johnson Crow says, "Thank you, Nick, for your support. My channel just hit 1 million views." high five and fist bump to you on your first million views.
We need like a
I've got the clapping song. I just haven't. I need to wrap up the clapping song. Not the whole thing. I can just start it as now everybody's clapping. I actually just did that in my news thing that I did yesterday.
Yeah, I don't want to. I just want like an air horn.
Yeah,
like I think our neighbors would love us if we actually got
a real air horn. They probably would, or like a bell that we could ring or something like that.
Just like a thing that hangs down.
Or
right
a megaphone, and we could just move the microphone back here and then speak into a megaphone into the microphone.
They decide. Do we get like an audio sound, or do we finagle something that hangs from the ceiling like a bell
and drops balloons and
it's
confetti?
It's always right here.
I think,
I grab it and ring it.
Balloons and confetti, and we need a vote for balloons and confetti. Also,
I'm not blowing up balloons every Saturday, and I'm not cleaning up confetti.
I'm over here trying to make a mess.
I'm just trying to ring a bell, dude. I'm not trying to like be a janitor.
Oh, love it. So let's see here. So the next question that we have on the list here, that was number 1. So the next one that we have here is from Channel Ron. Channel Ron says, "Hey Nick, thank you for all your hard work. I have a quick question for you. I've made up my mind to step away from Instagram and focus solely on posting content on my YouTube channel in the community tab. I believe concentrating on one platform will be more beneficial. I think it's a good idea, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'll catch a replay on the replay since I can't catch you live." So Ron, when it comes to going multi-platform, yes, there is power, so to speak, in focusing on one platform when you're getting started, because it's just one thing you have to learn, and the efforts that you put in, you can just concentrate them on in one direction, right? So it makes things a little bit easier there. The downside is by not posting on multiple platforms, you are limiting your potential to reach people who are also interested in your content and possibly growing better followings on the other platforms. Now, keep in mind, like when it comes to TikTok, for example, right? They are doing more long form content now, even though it's vertical. It's still, me personally, I just don't connect with people on TikTok like I do on YouTube with their content. Like I can watch a YouTube video and I can be like, okay, yeah, this person introduced themselves and they had like the video, and I can, remember channel names and stuff. But on TikTok, I have a hard time with that. But that's me, personally. But when it comes to putting content across multiple platforms,
generally speaking, outside of YouTube, people just don't like you.
Yeah, it could be. It's me remembering their names, not them remembering
mine.
I'm
just letting you know.
Oh, you're just giving me a heads up.
I'm just giving you a heads up.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, like in real life. Yeah, in the family. Yeah. It's like just in general, people don't like me.
I just wanted you to go through the rest of the stream with that information. Yeah. That's all I'm trying to say.
But anyway, the idea is, when you are giving yourself that opportunity, you might tap into an audience on, Instagram that just loves your content. And when you just put it on YouTube, then, that means that you're limiting, elsewhere. So if you are going to post somewhere else, I would recommend that, you pick a other place, and that if you are doing YouTube shorts, that the only difference is that you just take that short and then you just put it over there when you make them, right? So it's not something you have to be aggressive about. But if you do have content where you can either sample something out, or you can take something you're already using on YouTube and just put it over there without having to do too much, I think that as somebody that's getting started, I think that would be a good move, because that just gives you that potential in those other places. However, if you're like, hey, I only care about YouTube, I'm just trying to leverage YouTube, I don't even care about those other things, I'm not really trying to blow up all over the internet, I'm just trying to do well on YouTube and connect with people there, then in that case, by all means, just go all in on YouTube.
Can I add something to that?
Totally, absolutely.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, go ahead.
I think if you have yet to build momentum on YouTube, and you're just trying to, you're putting your feet in the water and you're trying to figure out, how do I grow my YouTube channel? I think if you can find the time, if you can repurpose your content, I think you try putting your content on other platforms. Try it on Facebook, try it on Instagram, try it on TikTok, try it on other platforms, because you don't know where your audience is.
And if you're making it anyway.
If you're making it anyway, I mean, a lot of video editing software and apps now can let you reframe it. So you can make your video, then you can reframe it in the app itself or in the software for vertical format, and you can publish it on the other platforms. Because you don't know where your audience is.
Jerry just said right here that Facebook paid him more from his Reels than Shorts has so far.
Yeah. I remember when Reels first came out and they first started paying people, I know there were a lot of people making a ton of money on Facebook early on, like smoking what they were getting paid on YouTube. Yeah. So you just never know where your audience is. So I would say if you can and you have the time and you can repurpose some of that content, test it for a while and just see.
Yeah, and one other thing too, since we are talking about YouTube stuff, A couple things I just want to bring to everybody's attention really quick, just in case you didn't hit the news yesterday. I actually I have a link to it up at the top of the screen, but just so that everybody knows, just in case you didn't watch that particular video. So YouTube has let the cat out of the bag, just as a heads up to everybody, that they are going to be
letting cats out of the bag.
Yep, that they're going to have.
Why do they have cats in the bag?
That they're going to have. That's just how they roll.
They're going to skin them.
Yeah, but that they have A/B testing for thumbnails. So that is going to be coming out to all creators next year. I'm not sure what countries it's going to be deployed in first or anything like that, but basically they made the announcement at VidCon that they're going to be putting out, or that they're going to be adding A/B testing into YouTube. So I was fortunate enough to be able to test this feature, and it's pretty incredible, and it's super easy to use. So how it works, basically, you just have your 3 thumbnails, and then as you are uploading your video, then what you do is you just, hit the thumbnail box there, and then it gives you the option to test and compare. And then when that box pops up, then you just click on the plus icon, and then you add a thumbnail into each spot, and then you hit save, and then from there, YouTube is going to test different thumbnails against different people. So this is going to be a huge deal for content creators, because now you can start working out different strategies for your thumbnails to see what people respond to best. So one of the things that I was doing is I would have like one thumbnail with maybe like a certain message on it, maybe a different background, things like that. And then I would have, one that I would typically just go with if I was publishing, the video willy-nilly. And then I had one that was just text only to see if there would be a different response. And of course, different videos, it was a mixed, response that I got back from that. But it was just really insightful there, being able to test that in real time and being able to have YouTube do it, right? Because then it's like, per impression and things like that, instead of like waiting, a certain amount of time. But it was a pretty, it's a pretty cool thing, and I'm really excited for it.
Can you explain to people who may be new to YouTube, or maybe they don't understand the importance of being able to A/B thumbnail test? Can you just like briefly explain why that's so powerful?
Sure. Yeah. So when you just upload one thumbnail and you roll with it, what happens is you are just pretty much banking everything on that packaging. But when you are uploading multiple thumbnails, either 2, if you're using like TubeBuddy, for example, or YouTube's version when that comes out where they're doing 3, then what that does is that gives you the ability to, essentially run 2 different thumbnails against, the people that are seeing your content. And then you get to essentially pick a winner. So what that does is people respond differently to everything that they see, right? We all do. So when you have 2 different thumbnails, like one thumbnail might grab somebody's attention and help them identify that that content's about something that they care about, in a more efficient way than another thumbnail that you put out. So because of that, doing that testing, it just gives you tons of insight into what people, actually respond to. And in some cases, it aligns with what you think they would respond to. But in other cases, you're like, wow, I'm surprised that's the winner.
Yeah.
And it can really, surprise you sometime. Yep. But another thing as well is when it comes to, doing all these tests, one of the things that you also have to make sure that you're thinking about, even if you're manually, testing your thumbnails, you also have to make sure that you're always keeping in mind how the thumbnail or the click-through rate leads to watch time on your video. Because, one thing that can happen is if you have a super high click-through rate, but people are abandoning the video quickly because, it was super sensational on the outside, but once they get to the video, then it's like, all this is all it is, or it's not what I expected, and people start leaving that video, then it'll hurt the video performance because it's not a satisfactory experience because they're not getting what they expected. But when you have that perfect match to where it's like, okay, this is what people expected, they're coming in and they're really enjoying this content, they're watching it for a longer period of time, based on this packaging, that creates a different expectation for the video, then you're more aligning with, creating an entire satisfactory experience for that particular, viewer that responds to that. So, it's a amazing tool to be testing, do it on YouTube side, do it on TubeBuddy side, whatever, or do it manually. But testing your thumbnails just to make sure that what you're doing is, the most effective for the people you're trying to reach is definitely a best practice that you want to do. But in addition to the thumbnails,
I didn't ask for all this. I was just like, can you just do like a quick...
Another thing that they announced is that they are going to be doing auto AI multi-language audio on our videos. This one's going to be a game changer for everybody, because what this means is that when you upload your video, you're going to be, if you opt in for this, when you upload your video, YouTube or Allowed is going to transcribe that video, and then AI is going to read that transcription, and then they're going to make it available. So let's say, you know, like with us here in Thailand, if one of our videos pops up here and a Thai person goes into that video, then if it's dubbed in Thai, then
somebody cop
right, they're gonna. We should just hire that guy and have him do it. Yeah,
I follow him. I follow that guy on TikTok.
Yeah. But they should. But what's going to happen is they'll see all the metadata translated if you translate that, and then once they click on it, then they're going to get the audio in their language as well, which is pretty awesome. So then it basically makes your content accessible worldwide for all of the, you know, dominant languages on the planet. So you know, it's a pretty big deal, and I'm really excited for that one to roll out. In addition to that, and we're going to get into the super chats and all that stuff here in just a minute, but just a few things I'm trying to bring everybody up to speed on in case you missed the news. And this one here, I actually didn't add to the news yesterday. I recorded it, but it didn't get in there. Another thing as well is, for the people that have channels, okay, first, as a YouTube content creator, especially if you're watching my videos, you're going to also start seeing a lot of videos about YouTube automation. YouTube automation is a thing. YouTube automation can work, you know, that kind of stuff. Those channels can do well. However, I believe that that's kind of what caused YouTube to do what I'm getting ready to tell you. So YouTube also had a policy update that kind of flew under everybody's radar that like nobody talked about anywhere. I might make a video about this just to, you know, get it out there. But one of the things that they did is they made it to where if you have a fan account, so let's say for the automation channels where they go and they rip like all the Joe Rogan clips and then they make a bunch of shorts out of those, right? That would be a fan account. So because of that, what they have to do now is they actually have to add the fact that it's a fan account. They have to say the words fan account in the actual channel name so that when somebody's interacting with that content, they know that it's not from the original creator and that it's a fan account instead. So, you know, for the people that do, you know, that animated, you know, or automation type content, or that, you know, just essentially steal content and then, you know, put it up as their own, those people now have to put the fan account stuff in there. So I just want to make sure that everybody, you know, knew about that, because, you know, some people watches the new stuff, other people don't. But, you know, as content creators, I just wanted to make sure that you're up to date on, you know, on that stuff.
2 hours later.
So 2 hours later, yeah. So really quick,
I need that sound over here.
Yeah, you do. So next up, we got a super chat here from Dynasty Trades In. Trades In 5 says, "You're my entertainment when mowing the lawn type of stuff. Today you are playing golf with me today." Oh, that's nice. Hole in one right here. We're all rooting for the hole in one. Says, let's see here. "We're doing okay so far. Can you speak to the control I have giving access to my analytics, what I'm able to hide, for example, and where to set it up? Appreciate you." Absolutely. So first off, thank you for the super chat. When it comes to the permission settings inside of your YouTube channel, all you have to do is go into your YouTube analytics, or not analytics, but you go into your YouTube Creator Studio, and then down in the bottom left-hand side of the screen, you're going to see a little settings icon, like a little cog. You click on that, and it's going to open up a dialog box. When you have that, then you're going to see a little option over on the left-hand side for permissions. When you click on that permission, then it's going to, you know, give you the option to add permissions to, or invite anybody, I should say, to your channel to see different things. So I just open it right here so I can literally read out to you all the roles. So you have manager. Manager can view everything, manage permissions, go live and create and edit and delete content. An editor can view everything, go live and create and edit content, but cannot manage permissions or delete content where the manager can. Editor limited, it gives you the same permissions as the editor, but you cannot view revenue data. So if you're like, hey, I've got like an assistant going in here, you know, they're helping me out with this stuff, but I don't want them to see the income from the channel, then you would choose that. You have a subtitle editor where they can add, edit, and remove subtitles, but they can't see anything else. That's a pretty cool one, actually. They have the viewer where they can view everything, can't create, edit, or delete anything. So if you were to, you know, have somebody that you hired for like consulting, for example, then in that particular case, like you would give them that or management. So then that way they'd be able to go in, see your stats, you know, dig into what's happening on your channel and get the information that they need there. And then you have viewer limited, which is the same permission as a viewer, but they cannot view the revenue data. So so hopefully that helps and adds some clarity to that for you as well.
You got a super sticker, and I got to play that audio.
Super sticker.
Oh, nice. Now that I can hear it, it's like, oh yeah, it's good. Yeah. So Construction Cronies, thanks for the super sticker, man. Super appreciate it. Reviews with Mayo. Welcome to the Niminati. So when you get a chance, go to, I'll actually take the link right here, because actually, no, you can go to Nimin VIP.
Welcome to the Niminati.
You can go to niminvip.com and that'll redirect you to the Facebook group. Just make sure that you fill out all the information on the way in, because that's how I verify that you are an actual channel member. So just fill that all in, and if you can do that, then I can get you in there when the stream is complete today.
Super chat.
Danielle, Tube Spanner, says, has some bad news about our equestrian channel this week. We made some controversial content about little horses, so it was deponetized. Okay, that one's a stretch, I'll be honest. Oh, that one's a stretch. I got it, but you know that one's a stretch. I'll be honest.
Don't put that one in the book, Daniel. we're gonna strike that one out of the book.
Destiny Trades in 5 says, also 2 weeks ago, at the end, Nick said next
Super
is
chat.
Destiny Trades, and D, sorry if it's D, cut you off, talked about something, and then you ended the show. It was comical, but it was unfortunate. Oh, so we had your question queued up, but you derailed me from answering the question. So, and then we ended the stream. So that was like the last question on the list, and it was queued up, but you derailed me, and they didn't get their question answered.
How does it feel to have life not go the way you think it's going to go?
Oh, D.
So what was the question?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No,
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
He does that with pretty much everything.
I'm just kidding, by the way. I do apologize for cutting that off. What was the question?
Danielle says tough crowd.
Tough crowd. Yeah. No, seriously. Dynasty Trade.
If you drop the question in here,
you
drop the question in here, we'll get it answered.
Yeah, we'll get it right now. Just go ahead.
Sorry about that.
My sincerest apologies.
Yep. Shame on you, D. Shame on you.
I don't remember cutting off a question though.
So while we're waiting for that, we've got Circle H Scuba is next on our list. Circle H Scuba uploads 1 time per week or more. They do scuba education and how-to content. The goal of the channel is to bring scuba diving. Yeah,
let's talk about that sub.
Let's not. So bring scuba diving to more people, supplement an eventual retirement from my day job, and to do scuba and YouTube full time. So the question is, a video posted 6 weeks ago recently went viral for me with 19,000 views, and I've gone from 500 subs to 883 cents. Congratulations on that.
Way to go.
Since it was posted. What analytic from this video should I focus on most to try to replicate and analyze its success? Most videos prior to this got a few hundred to maybe 1,000 views. So what you want to do is, yes, go into your analytics, look at your click-through rate and all the different traffic sources compared to impressions, so you can just get an idea of what that performance looks like. Look at your audience retention reports at different your retention at different places in that cycle. So for example, look at it like right after publish, look at it about a week later, all that. And the idea with that is just trying to get an idea of what performance looks like. So for example, if you look in and you're like, okay, a lot of the traffic from this video came from suggested videos, then in that case, looking to see like, okay, a week after this was published, how many impressions did I have coming from suggested and what was my click-through rate there? And that just gives you like a general idea of what to shoot for, and it helps you just identify when you're tracking low, right? And then from there, go and actually analyze the content itself. So of course you have your audience retention reports where you're going to go in there and you're going to look for any places where people fell off that might have caused that video to do better if they didn't. But you're going to look for that and just look for those types of problem areas. So you want to look for dips. You want to look for anything that's spiking up that shows you that people either rewinded into that spot, or that showed that somebody shared it somewhere and that was the entry point in that spot. Those sorts of things. In addition to that, you want to look and just confirm that the traffic did come from YouTube, because it could have gotten picked up by a website, or you could be getting traffic from Google or something like that. So just making sure that you understand where the views actually came from, and then from there go into the video itself. And instead of looking at it from an analytical lens, because you've already got those steps out of the way at this point, go in and look at it and say, okay, how did I start this video? What was I showing on screen? What did I say that might have caused somebody to be a little bit more interested in this video compared to my other videos? And just go through each section of the video and try to think to yourself, like, why do I think somebody would have responded best to this? And do I think it was this? Like, do I think this part right here is the thing that actually connected deeply with people? Or do I think this is something that they might have just kind of breezed by and kept watching, and then maybe this next part was something that connected with them, right? So just going in and just really analyzing the video itself and just trying to come up with theories on why you think people might have stayed in the video, and why it mattered to the people that came in and enjoyed it. And then from there, testing your theories on future content. Like, for example, if you're like, okay, in this video, normally I start the video and I'm showing a bunch of B-roll and I've got music playing while I've got like a voiceover going. Well, in this video, I started the video with me on camera. And, you know, I went from me on camera, I was on camera for a little bit of time, and then I jumped into, you know, some B-roll, and then I came back on camera. If you did something that was a little bit out of the ordinary, then you want to say, okay, well, this is one thing that I've done different here that I haven't done in my other videos. So let me see, you know, if that's the thing, and then you test that on, you know, future content that you're going to publish and see if, you know, that's one of the things that kind of, you know, grab people there. In addition to that, look at how you set up your story if you're doing any type of storytelling, and just look and trying to track that with your audience retention reports as well, to look for any places in your story that might have also, you know, kept people engaged versus having them tune out, you know, as you're going through the process. So you want to start looking at all of those particular things.
Super chat.
Next.
iFun Chris, thank you so much.
iFun Chris, thank you for the super sticker there.
Oh, it was a
Appreciate
super
it.
sticker. Did I hit it wrong?
D's hitting wrong buttons over there. There we go.
Super sticker.
Boom, boom, boom. King CMC TV
Butterfingers.
says they do gaming content. The goal of the channel is to get 1,000 subs. The question is, I just got into the YouTube partner program using memberships and super stickers. I haven't used it yet, but how does it work, or how can you use it? And how should I tell my viewers about it without seeming pushy for them to be a member or to use the super sticker? So when it comes to people, you know, giving super chats, super stickers, joining your membership, things like that, a lot of that is what they're getting in return, right? So if you have like an entertainment channel and you are just showing people a good time, you're that person that helps them escape, right? They have their day that they go through, and then they watch your content, and that's the relief for them. They laugh, they have a good time, you know, they go on your journeys with you, whatever. Then in that particular case, you know, that's the value that they get out of you, and some people will, you know, give you those things just because they, you know, appreciate that value. In some cases, it's also things, you know, content dependent, where you are doing something in exchange. So for example, you know, like with us, I have like a Facebook group, and if people go into that Facebook group, we stream into there sometimes. And in addition to that, like if somebody has questions, they can tag me in there and I can go in there and answer those questions. So there's that sort of thing as well, right? So then there's like a direct exchange in that particular case versus it just being like a, you know, one directional, you know, thing. And then there's also where, like, let's say, for example, you know, on the super chat side, sometimes people, you know, just like I was saying before, they'll super chat because of the value, but in other cases, you can actually do things. So for example, back in the day when we used to do channel reviews here on the stream, we would just get super chats lined up because people wanted their channels looked at. So that was a service essentially that we were offering. And in order to get to the front of that service, then the super chat would go in. And when people gave that super chat, then that put them in the queue for the channel reviews. So because of that, you know, it was a great way to generate super chats. But the downside of that we found was that it also stacked on an extra 3 hours worth of time into the live stream, where we had to sit there and go through all the channels of all the people that, you know, did that. So, you know, there was, you know, logistics issue or a time issue involved with that. So the idea is you just have to think like, you know, what is it that I have that I can offer? So in your case, since you have a gaming channel, one of the very first things I would think would be to, like if somebody sends you a super sticker, or I'm sorry, like a super chat. Hey, did you plug in the Mac by any chance? Because it keeps dimming.
Oh, I'll get it right now.
Okay. One of the things that you might offer, since you're a gamer, is you might offer for people to play the game with you, right? So it's like, you know, hey, if you are a channel member, then, you know, we have a get together every Friday, and, you know, we all play, you know, this particular game. You know, we just go in as a team, and, you know, we fight whoever it is that you're fighting in that particular game, or you do whatever it is that you're doing in the game. Those types of things can be, you know, advantageous there. Once you start getting, you know, like a big following, if you don't, oh yeah, if the goal is to get 1,000 subscribers, you don't have it yet. But once you get like a large following, then in that particular case, you know, you can start changing some of that stuff up to where it's like, you know, hey, you know, here we play together. But then here, you know, like I have, you know, like this particular tier, and if somebody's playing during this particular schedule, they can actually ping me, and then I'll come and join their team. You know, just like little things like that in terms of an exchange of value there.
Got it. You good?
Good. Thank you. Next up on our list here, we've got Bearded Iron. What's going on, Bearded Iron? Hope you're doing great. Says they do fitness content. The goal of the channel is to help busy dads and or men in their 30s onward lose the dad bod.
Says very specific. I love that.
That is, yeah.
Yep.
Says, hey, Nick, great content as always. I'm still trying to recover my channel after an earlier viral video has lost momentum. It's pretty discouraging when your channel is getting like 5,000 views a day and drops to around 200. My last few videos are getting all green ticks, which means good compared to my last videos, but still die off around 3 or 4 days. How do I keep a video growing after the initial few days? All green ticks would indicate I'm going in the right direction compared to my other videos, but not really seeing my videos doing better. So what those green ticks are is they are compared to like the last videos that you published, right?
10 videos, right?
Yeah, the last 10 videos. So if you, let's say for example, you have 10 videos that you published and all of them did poorly, then it's pretty easy to raise, to go through the ranks of those. So me personally, like I think it's good when people share like like an image on Twitter or something, or like, hey, I got #1, in like these last 2. Like that can be good if the other videos were good too, but either way it shows progress, which is a win. But in some cases that can also be misleading, because it's like, yeah, you're heading in the right direction, but it's still not great compared to what it is that you normally do in some cases, right? So because of that, like look at those ticks, it's like, yeah, I'm heading in the right direction, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that those videos are competitive for the platform in comparison to everything else your audience is seeing. So because of that, what you want to do is, instead of looking at those ticks, go in and look at the rest of the information around that video in terms of the impressions that it's getting, its click-through rate on the different traffic sources, the watch time that you're generating from the different traffic sources and all of that, and look for problem areas that are making you a little bit lesser competitive for the platform. In some cases it could come down to how you're packaging your videos through your thumbnail and title. In other cases it's what happens after people click on the video. But the idea is like you are already seeking that improvement. So what I would do in your case, because you have the one video that is, that's already done well, is I would go into that video and do the same thing that I recommended a minute ago, where you're in there and just analyzing the heck out of that video, trying to get an idea of how that, so he just took a selfie. In case you're watching, you're like, what just happened? Yeah, Dee's taking selfies. So the idea though is to go into the video that has performed well and do all the analytic stuff, but also just look at the content and be like, why do I think people responded to this better? How did I start this? What did I do after the first 10 seconds? What did I do the next 10 seconds? And really start breaking that video down granularly to better understand how people are responding to to that compared to what it is that they're doing with the new stuff. You also have the comparison tool where you can use the analytical side of it, but if you're getting like 200 views on the other videos, then the information you're going to get there isn't going to be that deep in comparison. So that's probably not the best move in that particular situation. But just looking at that high performing video and trying to repeat that in some way is definitely something that I'd consider if you're open for that. I'm making sure that, and how do you keep a video growing after the initial few days? Okay, that was the core of your question. So, remember that when you first publish your videos to YouTube, YouTube is showing them to the people at that initial time of publish that the system thinks that are the most likely to enjoy that content at that moment in time. So what's happening in your particular case, it would seem, is that when you first publish your videos, you're that core group of people that are likely to be the most interested in your content, they are. But then as it starts going out to larger groups of people, then that interest starts quickly falling off, which then kind of stalls the video out. So so because of that, it's really going to come down to like you really digging into the content and really trying to get an understanding of the different way that you're doing things in your different videos that people respond to positively or negatively, so you can adjust accordingly.
So Grandma UTI, which is something I don't want to think about, asks a question: do we have to pay continuously if we join the membership of one of the channel?
Oh, no. So basically how that works is it is a monthly recurring fee. However, you can cancel it at any time. With that, like, I'm not aggressive on like, trying to get people to sign up for the membership. Like, if people do, that's cool. If not, that's fine too. So I'm not like aggressive for it, but, I've got tons of free content on my, channel. If you're hesitant, I've got tons of free content on my channel that you can watch and, all of that. Like we've got probably hundreds of hours of these live streams over the course of my YouTube journey that you can watch to get tons of information there as well. It's just the cool thing about the group is that we have other members in there as well. So like if somebody one, there's just conversation with other YouTubers, which is great. But then in addition to that, like if somebody is like trying to fix something or solve a problem, or they have an editing issue like Nikki did this week, then in that case it just kind of it's just a resource to where people can go to get that kind of information.
So Dynasty,
hey Chad, what's up, man?
Dynasty Trade in 5. Did you come back with that question from last week? I've been looking in the chat and I don't see anything from you.
Yeah, I'll check to see if it was pinned by Doug by any chance.
Yeah, I'm looking here.
Yeah, it wasn't.
All right.
I'm going to refresh too, just to make
next
sure.
Question.
So next up, we've got You Can Fix It. You Can Fix It says they upload when they have time. They do DIY learning content. Yeah. The goal of the channel is to give people the information to repair their automotive repair right. And the question is, can you go over the bullet points for using a product in a video, but not have an affiliate with that brand, but use the brand in an everyday job? I'm scared to make videos showing the tools I use, but would make for better content if I show them. So first off, you don't have to promote anything as an... Go ahead, Dee. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I would love for you to type in the chat why you're afraid of showing tools.
Yeah.
Are you afraid of...
it could be because they might not know like where you have to mark the sponsorship thing and that kind of stuff.
Right. But if he's just using tools or she's just using tools and you just happen to show the brand, that's not a sponsorship.
That's not a sponsorship, right?
Right. That's not a paid sponsorship.
Yeah.
Go ahead and carry it from there. I'm just curious why you would be afraid of that.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is like when you are, publishing videos, you can show, all the stuff you use and things like that. If you're not promoting it as an affiliate, then in that particular case, it's still perfectly fine to show the tools that you use. It's actually in some cases, people find it more genuine when you're not trying to sell them something, right? So they're like, hey, they're using this tools, but then they got like affiliate links. I wonder if they like really like these tools or if they're just using them because of the thing. Right. And, people, sometimes get suspicious about that. And then when it comes to the actual companies that you're using their tools, in their case, that's free advertising for them. So, they don't care. But one thing that I would do,
that's
because
leverage, by the way, for actually like negotiating a deal is the fact that you do show their tools.
Yeah. One, that you show their tools, but another thing that you can do is when you make those videos, follow their accounts on Twitter, follow their accounts on LinkedIn. If they have like, anywhere that you can find them that allows tagging, when you publish those videos that include their tools, one thing you can do is you can @ them and just let them know, hey, just made this video, about this, @ company toolkit, or, including, these tools or featuring these tools or whatever. And that can help you actually get on the radar of, of some of those companies. And in some cases, they might actually send you a bunch of tools for free as well. Now, keep in mind, that's where things start getting complicated, because if they send you the tools for free, then in that case, they are then sponsoring you because they're giving you something in exchange for those mentions in the videos, right? So that's where things can start getting complicated. But when it comes to how you're currently doing it, if you're not selling anything as an affiliate or those tools as an affiliate, you're not doing it, as a sponsorship, you can show, you're fine to show the tools that you're using.
Yeah, and I just want to
without risk.
I just want to throw a little extra on there. When you get to the point where you are reaching out to these brands, or maybe they're reaching out to you to do some paid sponsorships, I just want to say that of the people I know who are in the trades who do get sponsors to reach, to do sponsored videos, a lot of those tool companies pay a lot of money.
Yeah.
They've got money to spend.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Brian, hope you're doing awesome, man. Says, hey, Nick, I've done a video reviewing a tool, and now they've offered me a deal. Do I need to go back to my old video and add this to my description? No. So you only need to do that on the videos moving forward where you are, reviewing that tool. On any videos that you have previously before that deal was made, those were not part of the deal. So because of that, you don't have to disclose you were just using their tools at that point in time.
It's crazy that, and I understand why they do it, but it's crazy that we have all these complicated things. Like, hey man, I'm just trying to like make money and like, share something with my audience.
Right.
And I got to like put this tag on here and do all this stuff. Right. And like, there's contracts with the brand. Like, I'm just trying to make a video.
Right.
I'm just trying to make a video. Hey, you guys might like this. They're giving me a little bit of money to present this to you.
Right.
And then here's all of this stuff.
This extra stuff that goes with it. Right. So Tara and Katrina are the next questions here. And let's see here, they upload 1 time per week or more. The type of channel is Roblox edits and music videos. The goal of the channel is to create videos and expand my brand, also for me to have some fun. And the question is, I've really been struggling with shorts. I used to get 1,000 views per short, and now it's gone down to like 40 to 100. Any ideas on what I can do to stop this? Love your videos, by the way. Thanks for the kind words. When it comes to shorts, the thing that you're experiencing right now, a lot of content creators are experiencing. So, remember that back in the day, we'll just say a year ago, back a couple of years ago when shorts first started. But
back in my day when videos were horizontal,
right? When they were normal, yeah.
Think about that for a second. Mm-hmm. There will exist a generation of people who grew up in the age of vertical video,
right?
And they won't know a world where vertical video was wrong,
right?
That's incredible to think about.
Yeah, when you used to look at somebody that shot a vertical video, like, come on, get it together.
I think it was my first video, or maybe my second video ever on the channel. It was before anybody was doing vertical video, and I was like, "What?" And I saw people making vertical videos on YouTube, and I was like, "Whatever you do," it was like with tips, right? Yeah. I was like, "Do not, under any circumstance, shoot a vertical video." Boy, that did not age well.
I guess the any circumstance part should have had like a little disclaimer.
Now I'm do not under any circumstance shoot diagonally. Yeah, disclaimer. Right? Yeah. Unless a new app shows up.
Yeah, right. Unless it becomes the thing.
Unless
then
it becomes the thing. Right.
But in terms of that 1,000 short, and then now they're lower. So just like Jerry said here, things are getting a lot more competitive when it comes to shorts. So there's a bunch of different things that are happening right now. So the very first is that, a little bit not too long ago, there wasn't, like everybody wasn't doing shorts, right? Because it was new. Some people were afraid of it. Some people were afraid to put it on their channel. So then they would have like new channels for it and all this stuff. But through the evolution of it, now it's become more mainstream. So since it's become more mainstream, a lot more people are adding shorts to the channels that they already have. A lot more people are starting shorts channels because it's easier to get traffic there, those sorts of things. So because of that, the amount of competition in shorts is much more. So since it's much more, the viewer experience that people are having in shorts, the bar keeps raising because they have so much inventory now in YouTube Shorts that you have a lot more competition that you used to have. So because of that, if that's where you're at in terms of the views that you're getting there, then just like the rest of us, when we end up in those situations, we have to up our game in terms of our quality of content, and maybe be a little bit more strategic when you're putting it together in order to get the higher view counts. Because the days are getting fewer and fewer of being able to upload something that isn't that competitive really, but it's still getting views just because it's there, right? So because of that, I would just work on your hooks, because of course with anything, it doesn't matter if it's a blog post, a long form YouTube video, a live stream, or a YouTube short or a TikTok video, whatever, like how the content starts is always going to be a determining factor on how long, how much more people are going to keep watching it. So just make sure you're spending a lot of time just really being intentional and thinking about the hooks of your shorts, because, that will be, one of the big defining factors if people are going to stick around or not.
So Don Juan in the chat says, and this was on a follow-up to the tool trades, they say, how much do these companies pay for sponsorships? I'm in the green industry trades. Here's what I want you to do. When this stream is over, you can write this down. Go follow a YouTube channel called Creator Wizard. Justin Moore is his name. Yes. He's also very active on Twitter. Yeah. He's really good at walking creators through how to negotiate brand deals and what to ask for and that sort of thing. Yeah.
But in terms of the answer there, if you are a channel that gets let's say you get 10 to 20,000 views per video, then you're going to get a decent amount of money. If you're getting 100,000 plus per video, then you start getting into real crazy money at that point. If you get into millions of views, if you're that type of channel, then you get into a video can retire you after a short amount of time.
Some people are making a lot of money with that. Southwest Barrel says, I took a vertical video as a practice, and it has over 5 million views, and I get 50,000 views a day on it.
Nice.
Only video I've ever shot in vertical. Wish I could replicate it.
Nice.
Isn't it weird how that sometimes lightning strikes and you cannot explain why? Yeah, that's great.
Trying to Learn Bikes is our next channel. They upload, they do bi-weekly content. They've been making videos for 1 year or more. Hey, one more thing also I want to let everybody know. First off, if you're just joining the stream, we're talking about all things related to YouTube. So basically this entire thing is a Q&A. So we're just answering questions as they come in, and the questions that we ask or that we answer are all problems that YouTubers are trying to solve. So, there's going to be something in here for you. The second thing I want to remind everybody of, just in case you didn't see it in the news yesterday, is Vid Summit in October 3rd through 5th. That's going to be coming up, and I'm going to be speaking at Vid Summit. So if you are going to be in the Dallas, Texas area, or if you can get to the Dallas, Texas area during that time, a lot of like myself and some of the other help channels are going to be speaking there, but like Mr. Beast and Ryan Trahan and Zach King and those types of creators are going to be there as well, just sharing everything it is that they know. A lot of people, make massive changes after they come back from Vid Summit. So if you are somebody that is interested in that, then make sure you go to vidsummit.com to check out the information on that. So motorcycle maintenance is the type of channel that they have here for trying to learn bikes. And the goal of the channel is to help others confidently perform DIY maintenance on their motorcycle. Also, I want to learn how to make videos good enough that ads. Thank you in advance for your excellent answers. So when it comes to the ads that you choose to show on your videos, for premium users, it doesn't even matter, right? So for premium users, they're going to come in and it's going to be fine. The only problem with non-skippable ads is that every now and then YouTube will stack up a couple and things like that, or it can be a really long ad and it can kind of frustrate people on the way in. However, YouTube also has kind of like an ad tolerance, which doesn't make sense when you think about them stacking videos together, you know, as an ad. But they have an ad tolerance, which basically means that if somebody sees a video like now, then there's going to be a certain amount of time before YouTube is going to show, or if they see an ad now, there's going to be a certain amount of time before YouTube shows them another ad. So because of that, just because you have a non-skippable ad at the beginning of your video, that does not mean that every single person coming into your video is going to see that non-skippable ad. Some of them will get skippable, some of them will get non-skippable, some people won't even see an ad. If they're in premium or not, they won't see an ad. So because of that, just as a heads up, you know, the skippable and non-skippables are the most lucrative ad formats out there. So if your channel is 100% reliant on ads as your monetization method, then in that case, enable both of them. And anybody that is, has a problem with that, then they're just going to have to, move on, so to speak, because that's your primary, form of monetization.
Yeah, and I want to say, like, from a consumer point of view, and I'm not paid to say this in any way, shape, or form, but I think YouTube Premium is hands down the best monthly recurring bill that I have.
Yeah.
Of all the things that I have, and that's including like Netflix, Apple TV, unless it's Disney, and there's like a new Star Wars thing going on, then I'll say it's Disney. Otherwise, it's YouTube Premium. Consuming content on YouTube without ads showing ever is amazing. And I don't know how people consume YouTube with ads. I just don't understand how that's even possible.
There was someone, it was like a stream or two ago, maybe a little bit more than that, but there was somebody that actually mentioned that. And they're like, yeah, I didn't really think about it. And then they went and they got premium and they were like, oh my gosh, D, like, totally. That's like the best purchase I've made.
Yeah, yeah. And again, I'm not paid to say that. But
right,
people,
right.
I've actually gotten comments.
Been called a shill.
Yeah. Oh, you're shilling for YouTube. No, seriously. Like,
right.
Consuming YouTube content without ads popping up all the time it's a game changer.
Yeah, it's totally different.
It's totally different. One, like you can just put on like background music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, just put on some chilled. Here's a 6-hour chill background thing. No ads.
Mm-hmm.
Or like you can just turn it on and like you can listen to like a podcast video
right.
and like go do something and clean the house or whatever, and there's no annoying ads that pop.
Right.
It's just a game changer, man.
It is.
It's money well spent if you can fit it into your budget.
Yeah, I think it comes down to thinking like, is my time worth that?
Right.
Right. So it's like if you
for me,
are
it's a focus killer.
Right.
It's just what is that?
What is that?
Attention killer.
Yeah, like that's true too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's more about like, so over the course, like if I spend like, 40 minutes on YouTube, if I see, a few ads that are, like 2 minutes long or so, I mean, technically I can skip them, quickly unless it's an unskippable,
right.
But like, would it make sense out of all the time that I use YouTube over the course of the month to just, spend that few bucks to, to avoid that?
And I understand that's not going to be in everybody's budget, but,
Totally.
like I would get rid of Netflix before I got rid of YouTube.
Yeah, totally.
And that's legit. Renee Richie's in the house. YouTube's Creator.
Hey, Renee, hope you're doing awesome, man. Hope you had a good time at VidSummit.
Happy Saturday from VidCon, Nick and D. Hope you
or
like
VidCon.
Hope you like our new AI dubbing and thumbnail A/B testing. And we were talking about that earlier, man.
Just talking about that. Yeah,
you were late. That would have been great to have you in talking about that then. How was VidCon this year? Hey, did YouTube come back to sponsor VidCon? Or
yes,
they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yep.
That was weird last year with TikTok sponsoring.
Yeah, it makes things awkward.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this is awkward.
Yeah, this is awkward. Hey, Who are these folks?
Who are
so
TikTok?
Jabari's fitness channels. Our next question here. They have a fitness channel, and the goal of the channel is to hit 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully, get 1 million and open a gym. Love it.
Wow.
Big picture right there. Love it. Love it. Are my thumbnails good? What should I do to get 1,000 subscribers? How to get noticed on YouTube? So I'm not going to look at your thumbnails, but the thing that you want to focus on in your thumbnails is making sure that you are. I'll look at your thumbnails, but I'm not looking at those.
What do you think?
Yeah, beautiful, freshly manicured.
1 to 10.
Yeah, I would say maybe like a 2.5. If one's good, is 1 good or is 10 good?
10, okay, 1 from a scale of from a scale of a train wreck.
Okay.
to Angelina Jolie's thumbnails. What do you got?
I've never seen her thumbnails. Can you give me another reference?
I can only imagine they're amazing.
Okay. Then in that case, I would say I would say halfway between the Trainwreck and Angelina Jolie.
That's not bad. I'll take that.
Yeah, maybe even a little bit more towards Angelina Jolie. They're nice. They got a good like a nice sheen on them. They're clean around the edges. All that good stuff.
I'm proud of the buff.
You're not like heavy on the cuticle side either.
No.
Yeah, they look good. They look good.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see here. So next question that we have is, let's see here. It says, Todd Beaupre and I broke down the multi-format algorithm for you all. Hope that you get to see it soon. Oh, looking forward to that. Definitely looking forward to that when that comes out.
Yeah, I'll watch that for sure. Hey, Roberto Blake's in the house.
Roberto Blake, what's up, man? Hope you're doing great. He says YouTube Premium pays better. Let the viewer than AdSense.
Yeah, that's something too. A lot of people think, okay, well, if somebody's watching with ads or with Premium, I don't get paid. That's not true.
Yeah, you definitely do.
You get paid.
But yeah, on Jabari's fitness channel, they say, my thumbnail's good. What should I do to get 1,000 subscribers? Not going to get noticed on YouTube. So I'd like to actually challenge the way that you're thinking about that. So, currently, you're D's like, well, here goes 20 minutes.
Yeah. I'm
gonna go get a pizza. I'll be back. Yeah,
I'm gonna go get a manicure.
Right.
Funny story.
Trying to get that 10, right? Trying to get that Angelina Jolie.
And this is the truth. I'm not exaggerating here.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like in a really big building.
Yeah.
This unit here is in a really big building, and in this building is a nail shop. It's like a place to get manicures.
Is that still open down there?
It's still open,
oh, okay.
and I still get manicures down there.
Nice.
So the last time I went in there to get a manicure, and this is really dangerous. So I think they don't. We're in Thailand, so I'm going to guess that like in maybe U.S. and Europe and stuff like that, they probably have some sort of air filtration system to get rid of that terrible toxic smell from all the paint and everything.
Yeah.
I got buzzed getting my nails done.
Holy moly.
Yeah. And I told the
gotta go down and get my nails done after the show.
Yeah, nail party. And I told her I was trying to explain that it's like unhealthy to be in here with all these chemicals and all of that stuff. But yeah, I walked out of there and I was like,
you're like, woo.
Yeah,
I got a little bit more than nails done there. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, so I got my nails done and I got a buzz.
So
and probably killed some brain cells in the process.
So a couple things here. Like I said, I'd like to just kind of reframe because you say, what should I do to get 1,000 subscribers? And how can you get noticed on YouTube? So I'd like to instead of thinking like, okay, how can I get 1,000 subscribers? Instead, start thinking of like, how can I add value to 1,000 people? Right. That's one way to start thinking of it, because then it kind of changes it from like, what am I getting here? And I want them to do this for me versus like, okay, how can I make something just amazing or helpful or interesting or, funny or, whatever it is that you're doing, because you're doing fitness. So, how can I put videos together that will transform the way that people think about fitness, that will make them be like, wow, this is like the greatest channel ever and want to subscribe? Or how can I, educate them on fitness in a way that will make them better understand fitness versus all the, information that you have out there, to where maybe it's just like, hey, they're just telling me exactly what I need to know without all the details. Or maybe they're telling me all of the details and not just the things that I need to know because I would like to be more informed, right? So, instead of thinking like, how to get 1,000 subscribers, think, how can I add value to 1,000 people and make the best content possible for those 1,000 people? And another thing is, instead of thinking of the 1,000 subscribers, also think to yourself, how can I create a long-term sustainable YouTube channel? Because, you don't want 1,000 subscribers. You want 100,000 subscribers, 1 million subscribers, right? You want people to watch your content and you want people to enjoy that content enough that they're going to keep coming back and watching more and more of your content, and that they're going to enjoy it so much that you can get your channel to 1 million, and that you can also open a gym from the resources that you generate from your YouTube channel, right? So because of that, just start thinking more along those lines. And by doing that, and also working on your skill sets, because that's like a big elephant in the room thing that you cannot overlook. You have to continually be working on your skill sets in terms of, learning how to write better titles, learning how to make more impactful thumbnails, learning how to make videos that people truly enjoy, not just videos you're trying to trick people through, but videos that people actually enjoy and get value from. If you focus on those things, then you'll do great on YouTube for a long time to come, right? But if you're like, okay, hey, I'm just trying to get that 1,000 subscribers. I understand you're wanting to get into the partner program and stuff like that, probably. So you're trying to rush to that part. But at the end of the day, you know, if you focus on adding value to people through your content and you're strategic about, you know, the things that you talk about. So for example, since you're doing fitness, I would definitely talk about, you know, broad topic ideas, you know, around fitness, things that, you know, problems everybody's trying to solve, you know, when it comes to fitness, so that, you know, your content is more accessible for, you know, more people at that moment in time. But if you focus more on the side of, you know, just adding value to people, then, you know, long term, you're going to win, right? There won't be any stopping you at that point. But if it's just like, how do I get to 1,000 subscribers? Then you're kind of, you know, putting a little bit of a ceiling on yourself there. When really, you know, if you put out just a handful of good videos, and in some cases it can be one good video, it'll just cruise you right past that 1,000 subscriber side. Like there's probably people in the chat here right now that have put out one video that by itself, that one video has generated 1,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers, you know, because that's a reality of YouTube. If you're focused on value, people are interacting, you know, positively with your content and having that good experience, like, you know, people will, you know, subscribe to your content. So next up on our list here, we've got... let's see here. Squared Phoenix. Squared Phoenix says that they upload every other day. It's also a gaming channel. How many gamers do we have in here? If you're a gamer, just say me. But they want to become an authority in the gaming niche. And the question is, hey guys, I'm actively working on improving my speaking ability on the mic. When you both started out, did you just figure it out as you went naturally, or did you follow any guides or do any formal training? And if you did, could you recommend any courses, videos, etc.? So I still mess up. I still use a lot of filler words, things like that. When I'm trying to be mindful of it and I'm really focusing on not using as many filler words, one thing I try to do is I try to breathe, and instead of saying the filler word, or instead of saying or ah. But sometimes if I'm just trying to explain an idea, I get focused on trying to explain that idea, and then I'll just lose track, right? I'll lose that focus on trying to not say those things, and I'll end up still getting them in there. So, you know, it's a continual thing, and you might be able to fix all of that faster. For me, I still run into periods of time to where I'm an obsessive sayer and like sayer and sayer, right? So yeah, I would just work on those things. But on the breathing side, that's a great way. If you can start being mindful of where your brain says the or whatever other word that you like to throw in there, just taking a breath through your nose is a great way to kind of combat that. But you have to make sure that you're being mindful of it in order to be able to kind of take over when your brain's trying to make you say those other words. But one thing that can be helpful is meditation, in terms of just practicing being mindful. And that can help you in a bunch of different ways. So that can help you in terms of how you're communicating. That can help you on just being more mindful in your environment. That can help you in being more mindful of things that are going on with your body in terms of how you're feeling. So for example, with me, meditation taught me that I have this weird thing that I do with my legs, to where I just tense my legs up from time to time. And it was just out of nowhere, and I never noticed it in my entire life until I started meditating. And then because of meditation, now when that happens, I almost instantly, I'm like, oh, doing it. And then I can just, mentally just relax my leg in that point. So meditation can also be helpful in that regard too. Not in a woo-woo kind of way, but just in more of a helping you have more focus on whatever it is that you're trying to focus on kind of way. Next up on the list, when I mention meditation, some people get like woo-woo about that. Treasure hunting detectors, what's going on? Hope you're doing great. Welcome to the stream today. So next up, we have Saturn. Saturn says they upload every other day. The type of channel is Discord and anime content. The goal of the channel is to share happiness and good vibes all around the world. Putting out them good vibes. Love it. And the question is, how can I grow my channel if it's an anime channel? So you grow an anime channel like you do with every other type of channel. The idea is you make sure that you're putting out content that anime people would enjoy. You would make thumbnails that anime people would be able to identify and make it clear that it's anime content, right? In addition to that, you have the titles, or the whole concept of the video is about something interesting about anime. And then within the title itself, it's something that is either informational or super compelling, or a mix of the two, in order to, you know, help pull them into the actual video content. And then on the growing the channel side, that's just one side of it, right? Getting people to click on it. But then you have the other side of like, okay, if people click on this, what do they do next? Which is they watch and interact with the content. So if they're watching and interacting with the content, then in that particular case, you have to learn how to keep people watching for a longer period of time. Because if you can get people to have a great viewer experience from the moment they see your content on a homepage or recommended next to another video or in YouTube search or wherever it pops up, then in that case, if you can just create a great experience for them, then your videos will do well on YouTube, because you're giving YouTube exactly what they want by giving the viewers exactly what it is that they want, that create a satisfactory experience for them. So focus on those things. Another thing that I would consider is if you are doing anime content, I would also be doing shorts right now as well, because that type of thing is really easy to identify. Like if the whole thing is anime, and you're doing like voiceovers under it or something like that, then in that case, even if it shows up in like the little short shelf on like a homepage, that can still pull in anime people if the content of it is anime. So I would definitely be using shorts for that.
Hey, by the way, I want to wish a happy belated birthday to Roberto Blake.
Yeah, Roberto Blake just had a birthday.
I forgot.
Happy birthday, Roberto.
Yeah, yep. I saw that this morning actually.
Mm-hmm. I sent him a Facebook message the other, like a few days ago.
Yeah, I just saw that this morning. I was like, oh, I hope he comes into the stream.
Mm-hmm. Happy birthday. So we sing, I guess we can't sing the official happy birthday song, but happy birthday, Roberto Blake.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to do that song, I'll do the video if you want to do the song. If you just want to strip the audio, then I'll go through the painful side of putting the video on top of the audio.
Which one?
The Niminati birthday song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got to pull it off another drive.
Oh, okay. I've got it on Dropbox.
No,
I've got all the videos for that on
no,
Dropbox I can send you. Oh, you've already got it.
I've got it all put together.
Oh, okay.
I have to pull it off the drive and then auto tune it.
Oh, okay.
To pitch the thing.
Got it.
And
okay.
Then, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Online Private Practice is the next channel here on the list. They upload when they have time. They've been on YouTube for less than a year. And the type of channel is therapist business coaching. And the goal of the channel is to teach and simplify how to market a counseling business online. The question, I want to know which is better, quality or quantity when it comes to video uploads as a way to increase subscribers. I personally script write all my videos, and the more specific a topic, the longer it takes me to finish. Now, it's taking me about 6 to 8 weeks to finish a script. Once done, I record, edit, and upload within a couple of days. I thought about using AI to speed up the process, but I'm not sure if it's worth it. Any thoughts?
Try it.
Try it. Yeah, try
6 to 8 weeks, and I believe is entirely way too long, unless the videos that you're putting up are getting just phenomenal viewership. Like somebody like Mark Rober, for example, I can't even imagine, or Mr. Beast even, the work that goes into that, but they're knocking it out of the park. Yeah. If you're not seeing a lot of results and you're spending 6 to 8 weeks, I would say you need to find a way
to make things more efficient.
To make things a lot more efficient. Mm-hmm. And I've been using Chat GTP a lot, and they're not the only game in town. But man, AI is just blowing my mind. It's not perfect, but it's really, really good. TubeSpanner's got a script writer too, right?
TubeSpanner has an AI script writing tool in it, and it uses something that they call hold and replace. So basically, it writes out the entire script, and then it holds each individual section of the script. So then you can go into one section. You can say, oh, add more to this, or rewrite this particular section, and then it'll do that without having to like rewrite the entire script and give you something completely different. So it really helps you kind of control how your script comes together, which is pretty awesome.
So I haven't seen that yet. So essentially,
it's cool.
So essentially, let's just say theoretically, the way you describe that, each paragraph is its own own section that can be edited.
Yes.
And you can tell each paragraph, this is too long, add to this, clarify this, simplify this.
Yep, rewrite
it. Per paragraph basis.
Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's super powerful.
And in addition to that, you have like a structure going across the top of the screen.
Yeah.
So it's going across the top, and you can see it vertically as well. And you can say like, you know what, this would actually be better up higher a little bit. And you can just take it and just grab it into that spot.
Yeah.
Or move it into that spot. It's pretty cool. But when it comes to, putting your videos together and they're taking you that long, I would definitely, work on efficiency there. So in terms of quality and quantity. So when it comes to quality, a lot of people think quality is like, camera optics and, how everything sounds and all that. And that's definitely, a form of quality. But in reality, when it comes to YouTube, quality is defined by how people respond to your content.
Yeah.
So, you can have something and you can put something up that is technically inaccurate. So what I mean by that is, like, let's say that you have a video going up and the color isn't quite right because your white balance is off. Let's say your audio could be a little bit louder, or maybe you could be a little bit closer to the microphone, something like that. Well, in those cases, people will be tolerant of that if they're getting a different type of value out of that, to where those things aren't, that important. That's why you see tons of videos on YouTube where you look at them and, like, technically it's like, this doesn't look like that great of a video, but man, it's super entertaining. And because of that, they'll get lots of views on them. So, when it comes to quality, it's more about the viewer experience than your camera optics, or even how much time you're putting into, like, writing your script, for example. So the very first thing that I would do in your case, if it's taking you 6 to 8 weeks, is I would just cut whatever video links that you're making. If you're not getting, good results out of them, I would cut the length. Like, let's say you're making like a 10-minute video. I would start cutting that in half just so you can get out, a little bit more. And the reason for that is because, like, if you have experience already and you already have all of the skills required in order to, publish content that, is likely to have people enjoy, then in that case, it's not, as critical. But if you are just getting started with all this stuff, there's so much to learn that if you're publishing a video every 6 to 8 weeks, then you're not giving yourself that much content to practice with, right? You're just focused on one aspect of it for a really long time. So because of that, I would really recommend that you try to, either shorten the videos, or, maybe don't be as specific in terms of, like, hey, every word needs to be, perfect and all that. Like, even take sections and say, you know what, as a speed tip here, this is something that I do. Instead of writing scripts, I do bullet points. Yeah. And then with the bullet points, because in your case, if you're a counselor and you're teaching people how to do business online as a counselor, then you probably have experience with that and you probably know it, pretty well. So because of that, I also just encourage you to experiment with just saying, like, okay, I'm going to write a script for my hook because that's super important. And then any details that are technical in nature that I need to quote numbers or any type of stats or something like that, then of course, or any process that you need to quote, then in that case, I'm going to write that down as part of the script as well. But for the stuff that I really know deeply, experiment with writing bullet points for those particular parts to see if that also helps, because then not only will that help you communicate in a more natural way for those parts, instead of reading, the script and then looking at the camera and saying it, or reading it off a teleprompter, but you're going to communicate in the way that you normally communicate because you're just reading off of the bullet point, right? So you're like, okay, I'm talking about this, so let me just talk about it in the way that I know how to talk about it, right? So you're going to communicate in a more natural way as well. So yeah. I just recommend that you give all of that some consideration.
Yeah, and also, since you're taking so long between uploads, consider making YouTube shorts where you make a 30-second or 45-second short where it's just like one quick tip.
Yeah, great idea.
Right? You don't have to break this into some long, drawn-out script. Just do one quick tip, right? Yeah. Do a really interesting hook at the beginning that's going to speak directly to the people that you're trying to reach. So it's something that's going to stop people from scrolling, right? Stop them from scrolling. There you are, telling them what you're going to tell them in the video. And then just give them one specific tip. And just bomb those out, every 1 or 2 a week if you can fit that into your schedule.
Yeah, and keep in mind, like in some cases, just to be clear, in some cases it might take, people a while to make videos, but again, like if you're getting a good response off of those videos, then it makes sense to spend that time. But if you're not, that means that you really need to focus on making sure that you're practicing the thing enough that you're going to be able to improve the skill set over time, as rapidly as possible. And the way that you do that is just by putting out more videos. If it means that you're going to go and, make some shorts, to supplement that long form content. Let's say, for example, you might be doing lectures. I don't know. But if you were doing lectures, then in that particular case, then yeah, it might make sense to do, a longer video. But if you have those shorts to supplement it, then you have that content out there getting in front of new people that will introduce them to you, so that when you do publish that longer form content, you already have an audience in place to, to come in and actually enjoy some of that content. Tommy T's Extreme Roller Coasters, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Let's see here. So next up on our list here, we have Off Time with Lee and On the Road with Lee. They do vlog content. The goal is to show life on the road. And the question is the Coffee Jam song available for download and including in videos without copyright issues? So currently it is not available on Spotify or any of those places at this moment in time. I'm actually still like learning how to make music sound better. So I'm going through that process right now. And then once I get it to where I'm like, yeah, it sounds, you know, the way that I want it to sound, then I'll put it up on Spotify for, you know, people to download if they want to listen to it. But as of right now, it's also not something that people are going to be able to use in their videos. That's just something that I made, you know, just as like, you know, part of the thing here. So because of that, you know, I'm not making that available. I should, but I'm probably not going to making it available for others. Yeah.
You'll end up
right. I end up getting my own copyright strike.
Yeah. Careful with that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like if I was more confident in YouTube's copyright system, then in that case I would, you know, I would be more prone to open it up. But because there's just so much, you know, incorrect identification going on in the copyright system, I don't want to make it publicly available and then somebody ends up using it in their video and then I use it here in the live stream or in one of my videos and then I get a copyright claim because of it, right? So I'm just trying to avoid that sort of thing.
And that's exactly the sort of thing that can happen.
Yeah, totally.
Content ID.
The NICU Doc is the next channel here. They do medical education content. The goal of the channel is to do less 24-hour calls in the hospital. Love it. Trying to escape that job. And the question
24 hours in the hospital.
Yeah. Think about that. Okay.
Hold on. First,
let's talk about that for a second.
Hold on.
First off, respect to doctors and nurses that do all that stuff. But
I want to talk about that for a second. Hold on.
But next, let's talk about like, okay, if you were to just sit and work in front of a computer for 24 hours, I'd face down on my keyboard.
My question, what kind of shoes do you wear? Tell me what type of shoes you wear.
That keep you going.
That keep you going, mostly standing, I'm guessing, and walking around for 24 hours. That's my first question.
Yeah.
What kind of shoes do you wear? Because then if you're working construction, like your shoes matter.
Yeah.
If you're on your feet all day, right? Like if you're working on a standing desk, you've got a, most people have like a cushion or a pad for your feet for, right.
Anti-fatigue mat is the technical,
So what type of anti-fatigue shoes do you wear at the hospital that allow you to keep going for 24 hours?
Yeah.
Number two, what sort of, and I'm gonna call them stimulants for the sake of conversation. That could be caffeine.
Yeah.
That could be energy pills, Red Bull, whatever. How are you?
What gives you wings?
What gives you wings? And just, number three, mad respect, man.
Yeah.
Mad respect for that.
Yeah, so like another thing too is like what I find interesting is that seems to be, I mean, I'm not, you know, and never have been and never will be in the medicine field, but like one thing that I find is interesting is doctors of all people know the people of the boards of all these hospitals.
Let me tell you something
they know.
Doctors. Apparently they know nothing what we've learned in the past couple of years. Just kidding. But that's what I read on the internet every day.
But you would think
Just kidding. I love you guys.
If anybody knows the importance of sleep, it would be doctors.
Right.
But then the people who are on the boards of all of these hospitals, the people on the boards of all these hospitals still have the doctors work in these like crazy cycles that are not, you know, beneficial to their sleep schedules. Yeah, it just seems like it's a priming for medical malpractice in some way.
Right. Like, because I think about how I am when I've been awake for 24 hours.
Right. Zombie mode.
I can barely operate Apple TV.
Yeah. Right.
So then I go in and they're like, hey, we need to your appendix is about to rupture and I've been awake for 23 hours.
Right.
Like, let's go. YOLO.
Right. Yeah. YOLO. Going it. Yeah.
Yeah. So somebody just mentioned Crocs and I do want to say, hold on. I wear Croc flip-flops a lot. These are I have plantar fasciitis, as you know. So,
yes,
right. So
I do.
My arch problem.
We're getting back to YouTube stuff here in just a moment. Hang tight.
I promise. These are hands down the most, I do not get fatigue wearing these things. So there's probably something to be said about Crocs if people in the medical field.
That they're a croc? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, yeah. I can stand a long time on these and not get tired. But like my Nike gym shoe, man, I get worn out.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Next up on the list, we've got gardening with Bear Brown.
Hold on, we got super chats coming.
Oh, Tommy T's Extreme Roller Coasters. Thank you for the super sticker.
Sorry,
super appreciate
one
it.
Again.
So we got Butterfingers over there.
You know what? I can't see that in StreamYard.
Can't see what?
I can't see if it's a super chat or super sticker in StreamYard.
Oh,
unless I'm looking at YouTube, I don't. And they all look the same to me inside of StreamYard. StreamYard, get on this.
Yep. So so next up, we've got gardening. It's a gardening channel, and the channel is Gardening with Bear Brown. Gardening with Bear Brown says the goal of the channel is to help people grow food and one day be able to retire and do this full time. Super cool that you're helping people grow food. Just wanted to say that real quick. Next is that I want to get people to send pictures of their watermelons at the end of the growing. This is a unique question. I like this.
Hold on, where
might need your brain here, D.
All right, let's go.
So I want to get people to send pictures of their watermelons at the end of the growing season. How do I make sure? How do I make sure I'm not being sent viruses or anything that could take over my channel? I want to make a slide video using the pictures, but I'm nervous. Thanks.
Okay.
One, have them upload the JPEG images somewhere. So in that particular case, they could upload them. So in the description of this live stream right now, where you put your question, the form right there is a Google form. It's 100% free. It comes with your YouTube account. One thing you can do is set up a completely brand new Google account. And that particular form has the option in there for people to upload things. So what you can do is you can put out the message for people to upload. You can set up the form that says, like, agree to, letting me use this photo, those types of things. And then have the upload option. So people will be able to upload directly into that. And it's completely separate from your YouTube account. And when they upload just the individual image, if it's a zip file or something, then just don't download it. But if they upload an individual image, then Google will actually detect it if it's safe or not on the way up there. So so that would be the thing that I would do if I was trying to get images from people. But one thing to keep in mind, just because somebody sends you an image doesn't mean that they actually took that picture or that they owned that watermelon. So, this is just me being, paranoid because I'm weird about, making sure you're kind of playing by the rules here on YouTube because, you put a lot of work into doing this. So you want to make sure that you're doing it safe. But basically, one thing that you do run the risk of with any type of viewer submitted stuff is that they find a really big watermelon photo off of Google Images or some stock site or something like that, and then they upload that into there, and then you show it in your video, and then somebody that is a watermelon farmer happens to be watching watermelon stuff. He's like, "Wait a minute, it's my watermelon." And then they
melons.
Right, and then they submit some type of takedown notice or something like that if they even know to do it, or they send you an email or they complain to YouTube or whatever the thing is. Just be mindful that that you do open yourself up a little bit for that kind of thing. It's probably fine, but I just want to make sure that I do share that with you because I'm a big fan of just making sure that you're protecting your channel and that everything's sustainable.
Yeah, in terms of virus protection and all of that.
Guess what, Corgi Butt? Thank you for the super chat.
Super chat.
In terms of virus protection, what I would do in your situation is I would create, if you're doing watermelons, I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that everybody's on Facebook. I would figure out if they're on Facebook, and I would create a Facebook group or some sort of a Facebook page where people can actually give you things through Facebook. They can post them on Facebook, and you can right-click and save them.
Yeah, make a Facebook group. Make a group, and then they can be a part of that. Invite everybody over to there. They can go in there and then do them there. Yeah,
right. So then allow them to publish content to it. So they upload their pictures to Facebook, and Facebook should be able to identify that. Then you can right-click that image and actually save it to your hard drive. That would be the safest way to do it. Another thing you could do, if you have an old laptop that is not being used, you could use that laptop specifically for opening your emails and opening up images and put a virus.
You got to be careful, though, if it's connected to your internet. So it's best if you do that like a coffee shop or something.
Yeah, you can take it to a coffee shop and hook up that way. Yeah, there's a couple different ways to do it. But I know a lot of people are opening their emails and stuff now on a second laptop in case they open something up and end up with some sort of a virus.
The Wholesome Home, thank you for getting us back on track, says D. You derailed the previous question. He did it again. So,
Derailed.
What I'm here for.
The NICU doc was the question. I just went back to it. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. They do medical education. Oh, no, wait. To do the less in the hospital. Oh, okay, here we go.
Facebook removes videos. What?
So basically to do less 24-hour calls in the hospital. And then here, the question is it better to have higher quality edits in a 3 to 5 minute video versus just a talking head with minimal edits in a 10-minute video in terms of making money?
Yes.
It all comes down to how people respond to each, right? So if the video gets a lot more views, then of course it's going to generate more income. It's going to have more, ads shown on it. So because of that, if people respond to your content and it's a high quality, it's like a highly edited video and that's what they respond to, and you can get people to click, then in that particular case, that one's going to be likely to make you more income. Whereas if you're really good at your presentation and you can lead people through a story without even needing any edits at all, to where it's like, hey, I start and then I tell my story and then I shut it off, and I can do that in a very clear and concise way, then in that case, as long as people respond to that, then you can have an entire channel where you don't edit your videos at all. So because of that, experiment with both, see what people respond to best. If you're doing this, you know, for income, then in that case, just experiment with both. And if you want to edit less, work on the presentation more. Right. And that will help you, you know, kind of get through that process faster.
You know, when it comes to editing, and I'm not taking anything away from editing because it is a struggle to keep people watching your video.
Yeah.
But I find myself, like, if I land on something and there's a subject that I want to...
He did, Doug.
There's something I want to learn, or someone is just really, like, you've captivated me. Maybe you've captivated me through your personality or your ability to storytell. But I've sat through...
Definitely not me.
I've sat through videos before that have not even been edited.
Yeah.
You know,
Project Life Mastery. He I don't know if he's still doing that or not. I haven't watched him in a while, but there's a YouTube channel called Project Life Mastery where it's all like self-employment stuff,
no
motivation,
editing.
Things like that.
No editing.
He's got a lot of content where it's like one take. Some of them maybe, you know, there's like, you know, a couple of quick cuts in there, but he has a lot of content where it's just him and he's just standing there and he's just talking and telling his story, and then the video ends and you're like, wow, that was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just a really good storyteller, really good at communicating.
Yeah.
And you can just sit there and go right through his content very easily. At least you could. I don't know if he's still doing that or not.
I used to sit through, I don't know if he's still doing it or not. I haven't seen him in a while because I got YouTube Premium, not sponsored for that. Well, just Ty Lopez.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's good too.
Ty Lopez. So he used to run ads all the time.
Yeah.
So his ads would come on YouTube, and I would, not because I wanted to watch the ads, I wanted to watch to see how long he would go without taking a break, because I knew how good he could communicate to the camera.
Yeah.
And he was so good. I never bought, I'm not interested in what he's selling, but I was interested in him as a communicator and how he could effectively, 9 out of 10 videos, do one take that's like 10, 15 minutes long, and just be flawless. Like, that's a skill.
It is.
No editing involved whatsoever. So yeah, anyway, nothing to, of course, editing matters, but so does communication. Yeah,
another thing too, like Roberto said, you know, over editing is for entertainment channels. It distracts and waters down education.
Yeah.
So, you know, it comes down to what you're doing. But, like as an example, I took one of the clips from the live stream here and I put that up on my channel recently. And in that particular one, I was like, hey, I'm going to edit this one and I'm going to just basically have the whole intro of it, just where it's like things are changing. It's like every minute, just to kind of see how people respond to that here. Tanked. Yeah, like that intro is just like, boo. Like, people... Yeah, we're heading out of there in that particular case to lean on, you know, Roberto's idea there.
Well, like you just said, try it though. Try it.
Yeah,
like you never know. The only way you're going to know how your audience is going to respond to something is through testing. Yeah. Sometimes you're gonna hit a home run. Sometimes you're gonna swing and miss. But try to, you know, test things for a while and start looking for patterns and see if you can find something that really connects to your audience, because everybody's got a different audience. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. You're all in different niches. We're all making different types of content. We all communicate differently. Our pacing is different. How we word things. Some people are excellent storytellers. Yeah, they are. And they just start speaking, and you're just captivated out of the gate. That's not me.
Video for bosses. What's going on? Hope you're doing awesome. Welcome to the stream today. So, gardening with Bear Brown is our next question here. Says I want to get. Okay, we did that one already.
Bear Brown.
So next up, we've got Tarot Underground.
Tommy, we don't see any questions.
What did he say? Nick mentioned my super chat twice, but not answering my questions. Yeah, I don't see questions in your super chats. Man. I don't see it on YouTube or here. So basically, on my end, I just see the
Tommy, I'm going to put this on screen. This is what we see right now. I see 2 super chats that are just empty. Yeah. Here's one, and there's 2. So if you have a question, go ahead and put them in the chat, and we'll answer those. Because for whatever you wrote on there, for some reason, it did not come through. Apologies for that. I'll keep an eye out for it in the chat.
So while that's coming up, the Tarot Education says they teach people to read tarot cards. And the question is, can you give some live stream ideas where you don't have a lot of people showing up to live streams? I don't have enough people to do a Q&A or other participation-heavy streams. So one thing that I recommend that you do, it could be blocked words. Good call, Jerry.
Oh,
yeah, good call. Yeah, look at that. Look at that detective in the house. Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna start sending you messages from time to time when I'm having like tech problems. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's probably what it is.
If you have a controversial word or something like that, it could be getting blocked.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in and look right now.
Yeah, that could be it. We're looking.
But when it comes to the live streams, if you don't have a lot of viewers, so what you want to think about there is instead of thinking of it like a live stream where I need participants, think about it like you're making a piece of content live. And by doing that, it changes your mental framing when you go into it, and it changes how you structure things and all of that. So the idea is that you make the content live so that it's a good piece of content on the replay. So how that works is, I mean, you watch my content. So if you go and look at my news content, that's what I do there is, you know, for when I live stream that is, you know, it's a live stream. And even though people are in there, I don't acknowledge the chat. I don't do any of that stuff. I just jump in, give people the news, let them know what they need to know about, you know, things that have, you know, updated or changed on YouTube. And then I'm like, okay, you know, if you're new to YouTube, you know, click here, blah, blah, blah. And then I have my thing that I do at the end. And then as soon as I'm done with that, and it's short, so then as soon as I'm done with that, then I just go in, I add an end screen to it, go in and pin a comment, and then, you know, that's good to go. Maybe in some cases I'll edit off, you know, maybe the beginning if I didn't, you know, come in right on the spot when it went live, that kind of stuff. But I just do some minor tweaks to it there, and then it's good to go. So when it comes to the live streams, just think, and just a heads up, if you go to the StreamYard YouTube channel, we have an entire playlist over there where I discuss your particular problem in depth over there in a lot of the live streams I do over there. But the thing when it comes to live streaming without an audience is you need to be thinking about the replay because that's where your views are actually going to come from if you don't have people participating. So because of that, the approach is I'm making a piece of content live. So as soon as I go live, as soon as I see that light saying that I'm good or the button, whatever, then in that case, I need to come in and deliver a hook that lets people know what it is that I'm going to be doing in the content and essentially why they should stay. And then I'm going to start moving into the content. I'm going to try to get through that in an efficient way to where if somebody's watching it on the replay, it actually feels like a piece of video content. And then when it's finished or coming to an end, then I recommend another piece of content on my channel for the viewer to go and watch, and then you end the stream. So that's the idea in terms of, you know, how you actually want to set that up so that you can get the full advantage on the replay without any live participants at all. Good question. Next, we've got Us Plus Dad. They do daily content. They do Roblox Relepla challenges and tips. The goal of the channel is to grow an active Roblox community and make some fun money on the side. The question is, we're trying to decide between one Roblox channel or three. One with shorts, one role play, and one challenges. Everyone says one channel, but research looking at all the large Roblox channels shows us channels that focus on just one have more views than the ones that do all three. Thoughts? Okay, so with this, so just
I wish I could zoom in on you.
Why?
Just because something like this, it's like it's like a serious thing. I just want to be able to like zoom in like 25% for like a serious zoom, right? Like I want the serious zoom
and have like some type of like slow like sound in the background. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
So when you are thinking of this sort of thing, there's a couple things to consider. One is for one channel, if you are going to be uploading something very specific there in terms of the value that you're providing, if the other type of content also adds a similar value, then in that particular case, you can deploy different formats, okay? So for example, if you are trying to grow a Roblox community and you're giving people, and you're doing challenges, giving people tips and role play, then in that particular case, you can do some of that in shorts. You can do some of that in long form as well. I'm not sure if you can do it in live streams because I'm not familiar with that, all the details of that game. But, you can do it in both formats as long as it has the same value that people are getting. Or I won't even say the same value. As long as the people that are interacting with the content are your target people that you're trying to get to watch the content. So, for example, you're clearly trying to reach people that are interested in Roblox. So because of that, if your Roblox content, if you're doing like, challenges and tips, for those people that are interested in the challenges and tips and watching you go through the process of doing those challenges and or tips, then in that particular case, they won't care if it's a long form video or if it's a short, if it's something that, that they enjoy, if you put it together right. So because of that, what I recommend is start with doing everything on the one channel. And then from there, what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to go into the grouping feature inside of your YouTube analytics. I have a short on my YouTube channel that shows you exactly where to find this. But you go into your grouping, and then you start grouping the content type together. I mean, YouTube's already, just because they're doing so good on their analytics now, they're already going to break all of this stuff down for you in terms of, the views coming in from shorts, the retention on shorts, the subscribers driven from shorts, and all of that. So they're going to give you that information, but you can also get a little bit more granular if you start grouping the different formats together, and then you'll quickly be able to decide like, hey, this is causing channel growth, this one's causing more engagement. So because of that, we're going to keep doing this, or these aren't really performing well here, but they're really loving this stuff. So because of that, let's take this off of this channel, but we still want to do it. So because of that, we're going to do it on another one. So for example, if you're doing role play, and again, I'm not familiar with Roblox, so I'm using the information that you told me here to kind of break these down. But if you're doing role play, if it's common for people that are watching role play videos to also watch the challenges and tips videos, then in that particular case, it's a great fit for the one channel. But if the role play is a different type of person that would watch, that compared to people that are just looking for tips on the game, then there's going to be some type of disconnect there, right? So because of that, that's where you might want to consider either one, I'm making 3 buckets here that I'm going to be putting, these different types of content in. I'm going to be growing audiences for each one, or that's where you're like, maybe I am going to separate this. But the first thing I would do is I put it all on one channel just so you can, see how the people that YouTube is showing your content responds to it. And the reason for that is because when you first start publishing to your channel, or like as you're deploying all this stuff, one of the things that's going to happen is, you will find one format that will outperform the other formats because all of them can't, outperform each other, right? So you're going to find one that is dominant. So if you do not put all of that onto the one channel, then you're not going to know for that particular channel that, that one would have been dominant, right? So because of that, you're just relying on the one format and you're trying to figure out how to get that one format working versus throwing all 3 on there. And then if people, just really enjoy one but not the others, then it shows you like, okay, well, we're going to double down on that, right? And then that's what we're going to use to grow the channel. So that would be the approach that I would take. Let's see here. Next up on the list. Did that question come through, by the way?
No, I didn't see anything. He said,
I'm looking in Streamsy to see if he has it in here. Hold on.
No weird words mentioned. And congratulations to Liz. Liz Bianco, my design Sherpa, says I just reached 1,000 subscribers.
Nice. Congratulations to you. Held for review.
I don't see it. I'm looking for Doug.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Nope. Tommy, you must be typing because he says it still didn't come up. You must be typing something that's getting blocked. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see here. So next up on our list here, I'm actually going to look in this list and see if maybe for some reason it popped up. It's not coming up. So basically we have StreamYard that's pulling this in. We have a secret system that we're not telling anybody about yet that's also pulling in your super chat, and we have YouTube, and none of them pulled in the words.
Yeah, Tom, you can try posting it in my chat.
Try it over on D's. Go to D's video because he's streaming this too. Go over to D's channel and see if it goes in there.
Yeah,
and like -5 says, rephrase it and try to say it in another way. See if that gets it through.
And I'll say this: if you're mentioning a particular brand, like if you're mentioning a brand, space those letters out because I know there's some brands that I don't support. And I put them on my block list.
Oh, okay.
Just because I was like, I think that brand might be trash or whatever. Or
yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it could be a particular brand or whatever. If so, just space out those words and rephrase it.
Yeah, if you could just type it in the chat, Tommy. Like you don't have to give another super chat. Just type it in the chat, and that should be enough. Just type it in there normally.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can also send it on Twitter. If you want to D maybe. So let's see here. So next up, we have Her Heel Review. Her Heel Review, they upload 1 time per week or more. They do TV and movie review content. The goal of the channel is building a community of film fans. And the question is, got feedback to niche down on my channel, but I'm struggling to determine how. Should I start a new channel to do this instead? How do I do this if I don't want to limit myself to one genre of film? So let's see here. Her Heel Review. Yeah, so you probably got that recommendation if you are, talking about, like let's say you have like romance stuff you're talking about, and then you have like sci-fi. There's going to be a lot of people that might enjoy the romance stuff that might not necessarily care about sci-fi and vice versa. So your recommendation that somebody gave you to niche down might be because of that to help you, better, target that. But I'm looking here and you have like, The Blackening. I'm not sure what that is. It's a horror comedy. Then you have Transformers and Spider-Man, which, those, of course, people that like both of those would probably go together. Little Mermaid, and then Not My Peter Pan. Not sure what that is. But, like The whole idea with niching down is, in this particular case, thinking of it through the lens of, okay, I'm gonna just talk about, as an example, sci-fi. And I'm doing that because I love sci-fi, and I'm going to connect with, other sci-fi fans through this content. That's the beauty of niching down. And the win with that is it also increases the probability of people being able to enjoy everything that you publish versus, like I can just come in and check out, your content from time to time, because most of what you make isn't what what I'm actually into when it comes to the, my movie genres. So that's kind of the idea. And just keep in mind, like, you don't have to do that. It's just when, people take that type of action on their channels, it just fine tunes who is interacting with the content, which can then help, the system itself in terms of YouTube also better identify, the right people to show your content to consistently as well. So, so because of that, I would just consider that. But when it comes to, doing like a completely different channel, the very first thing I would experiment with is I would give yourself like 90 days of just focusing on one type of movie genre and just see how it works out. See if it causes any improvement at all. If it doesn't, then in that case, you can go back to how you were going. But if you're like, hey, this is starting to accelerate things, and people are enjoying my my content, they're clicking on it a lot. I go into my audience retention reports, they're enjoying it there. Then in that particular case, just keep doing the stuff that works in that particular case, and then you can try to sample in some of the content and then see if that, brings it down. And if it does, then in that case, that tells you like, hey, they're really enjoying this, so I'm going to make sure that I'm doing, more of this. And then that gives you the option to where if you wanted to, you could start a new channel for it. But one thing to keep in mind when it comes to multiple channels is, yes, you can hire people for, different things and all of that. But when it comes to having multiple YouTube channels, it can be, challenging to run multiple channels, especially if they require a decent amount of work. Just in like comments alone can be, difficult across channels. So because of that, just keep in mind, as soon as you start splitting things up like that, let's say that all of a sudden, both channels start doing well, or all three channels start doing well, then you just, kind of settled in for a lot of work, on all those different channels.
I'm not seeing anything from Tommy here. He says, okay, there it is. Tommy.
All right, what's he got?
Here.
He got it on your side? It came through?
Nope. He says no, somebody else.
Okay. So 86th, they upload one time per week or more. They have a help channel.
Yep. He says, I was just asking about subs. So
that's why I have the word subs in my thing. Yeah, because
right, the word subs should be blocked. I'm surprised that got in.
Yeah.
Rephrase that word. Type in like what, followers or space
followers
out
is probably fine. Yeah,
or space out the word.
I
subs.
might even have the spaced out version. Yeah, basically what happens is a lot of people will spam YouTube comments, especially on our type of content, with those types of words, because they're trying to use the comment section for followers and stuff like that.
Right.
So I've had those in my blocked words list, which is probably what's causing them not to show up here. So 86 says the goal of the channel is to guide new cooks and aspects of leadership without sugarcoating things. The question is, kitchen folk like me are usually broke, so what's the other ways that I can provide value and do what's passionate for new cooks and be able to leave my current job to move into YouTube full time if my targeted segment doesn't have a lot of disposable income to spend on affiliate links, etc. So even though they might not have a lot of, disposable income to spend on, affiliate things, there are things that they need and that they, need to get, from time to time anyway. Every industry has that. So, for example, it might be, knife sharpening stuff, or it could be knife sets, or it could be the things that they wear, or, whatever. So, there's probably something that they would, need to get on a regular basis. So you can at least, promote those types of things. And then if not, then going from there into, leaning more on ad revenue as the primary source of income for that would be the thing. And also, if you can try to come up with something, like if you have any type of courses, because I know you're like training cooks and things like that. So even though people might not have a lot of money to spend, if you made a reasonably priced course on like Skillshare or something like that, then when they join over there, you actually get paid. I think it's like per minute or something that people watch over there, which is pretty cool. Or you could have just like a low cost course for them. And when you frame something like that around, you know, it being an investment, so like if you're legitimately going to help them level up their jobs so that they can make more money, then in that case, that becomes more of an investment, not something to where they're just spending disposable income, right? So like if you're like, hey, I'm doing this particular thing, and the people that would be buying this thing are people that would have more of a disposable income. If you know that wouldn't fit, then of course you wouldn't, you know, be trying to promote that at scale. I mean, maybe you would, because some people would still have money, but you know, making something to where it's like, hey, if you get this, then you know it will help you because I'm, you know, trying to help you get a promotion essentially. Then in that case, you know, it becomes more of an investment instead of it being, you know, like, oh well, I'm just, you know, kind of throwing money away here on this thing that I don't really need. Andrew Cannon in the house, what's up, dude? Hope you're doing fantastic.
Andrew, what's going on, man?
I'll be at Vid Summit though, so yeah, I'll see you over there. Looking forward to hanging out.
Yeah, I don't think I'll do VidCon anymore.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to do VidCon anymore either.
Yeah. Because that's
like it's cool. I like hanging out with people at VidCon, but it's more of a fan focused thing.
Yeah.
So like you know.
Yeah. If we lived in the U.S. or close
I'd
to
go
the U.S.
every single one of them. Yeah, if I was in the U.S., I would go to every conference there is. Yeah,
right.
Every conference there is.
Being on this side of the world, that's such a long trip to go to VidCon, and yeah, that's just not the event that I if I had to choose one event to go to every year, it's definitely Vid Summit.
Yeah.
I don't think I go to VidCon anymore.
Yeah.
It's just
did we get his question, by the way?
So I don't use the word subs noted. Yeah, I don't see it. I see him talking about, okay, so don't use the word subs noted, but I don't see that he actually posted the...
Oh, he just put subs here and it showed up. It says I was just asking about subs and then it showed up here. Yeah, interesting. I wonder if they took that out of Super Chat. I wonder if people are using that word a lot in Super Chats.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, not sure.
I see Prince. Did you see my 2 comments? I'll have to go back and look. I don't see everything in the chat.
Yeah, like right here, he just put stupid, and it actually auto hid that. So here, I'm just gonna hit show just so he can see that it's. Oh, never mind. Chantel already got it. And deleted it. So yeah, so no worries. So hey man, if you just want to send me an email or send me like a DM on Twitter, then I'll just, once the stream is over today, or I probably won't do it after the stream, but like tomorrow when I'm waking up and I have coffee and I'm checking my DMs, I'll shoot you a message and answer whatever question you have.
Do you do your DMs over coffee every morning? Is that your thing?
Sometimes, yeah, not always. I don't really have a routine around it, but that's usually when I'm like in my phone. Is like, you know, I'll have coffee and then I'll, you know, have my phone open, looking, you know, at emails and, you know, checking DMs, that kind of stuff.
Do you wait? So I have this problem that if I write anything online for like the first couple of hours when I wake up, I make horrendous mistakes.
Oh, interesting.
And I don't catch it.
I do that at nighttime.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm solid at nighttime.
Yeah.
In the daytime, like when I first wake up, the first few hours, like my brain is just not, you know, I'm in a very creative mode. But like in terms of writing something, like I'll like double up words or like mess things up. Like my brain's just not there yet.
Interesting.
It's
yeah,
just like
I'm
full
creative. I'm creative at night. But in terms of like, you know, admin type stuff, that's not the best time for me to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, you got a super chat.
Super chat.
Let's hear. Doug said that Tommy T's just wanted to know if 40,000 subs was normal since 2017. So
That
in
was
terms of
blocked.
normal,
That was blocked from YouTube.
So in
How
terms
weird.
of normal, excuse me. So in terms of normal, when it comes to YouTube, there is, I mean, I'm sure there's averages and, you know, somebody that works at YouTube probably has data on like averages, but in terms of normal, like the thing that's so interesting about YouTube is that all channels grow at such different rates. And because there's so many variables involved, right? So for example, you know, one content creator, you know, like let's say a younger person, right? That, you know, that is on break for the summer. They can sit there and work on their YouTube channel all day long, every day long, and create so much content that they'll be able to have enough content to make them through the entire school season, right? Whereas somebody that, you know, has a job, they have a family, they also have other hobbies that, you know, they spend a lot of time with, and they don't have a ton of time to, you know, dedicate to their YouTube channels. In that particular case, those people might take longer to, you know, to get the ball rolling. So, you know, in terms of, you know, hitting 40,000 subscribers in any capacity, it's a win. And, you know, most people don't make it that far, you know, when they start YouTube channels. So, you know, so you're crushing there, even though, you know, it's been since 2017. So, so I think it's fine. You know, just based on, you know, the little bit that I already know about your YouTube channel, I think you're solid.
You got a super chat here.
T-Hand141 Homestead says, I want to do members only live streams on YouTube and members only Facebook page. What is the best way using StreamYard? So all you have to do there
good question.
Yeah, really good question. So all you have to do there with StreamYard is you connect your YouTube channel there, and you connect your Facebook page, and then you can multicast out to both of them. However, when it comes to YouTube, one thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to schedule your stream privately. Just schedule it private inside of StreamYard, and then you're going to have to go over to your YouTube channel, and that is where you actually change it to a members-only stream. I don't think, as of this moment right now, I don't think that you can have a members-only stream from the drop-down inside of StreamYard when you're scheduling it. I could be wrong on that because I've never tried to do that in StreamYard, but I don't think that's in their drop-down right now. So because of that, schedule it private, and then go into your YouTube channel and change it to members-only live stream. And then what's going to happen is your members will see that. And then just as a good measure, the next thing that I would also do is I would take a link to that live stream, and then I would actually make a community post about it, and then mark that members-only live, or mark that as a members-only community post, and just say like, hey, here, we're having this live stream on this day. Here's the link to it, blah, blah, blah. So then that way, if somebody doesn't have to hit your channel page to see it, they'll also see it in the community feed as well. So you're giving them like 2 vehicles to be able to see that event is happening. And then for the Facebook page, so one thing that I found when it comes to the Facebook pages, and we tried to make a solution for this, but it didn't work. One thing that I found when it comes to the Facebook pages, as it relates to YouTube memberships, is it's really hard to manage. So like as an example, if somebody joins your Facebook group, then unless you have somebody, or unless you're doing it yourself, that is checking every month, and you got to keep in mind, people join at different times, right? They join at different times. So they have to essentially constantly be checking your Facebook group against your YouTube channel memberships, and then going in and cleaning people out. And another complication that you have is when people join on YouTube, that Travis MVP in the house, what's going on? MCP in the house, MVP in our world. What's going on, my dude? Hope you're doing fantastic. Nice to see you.
MVP.
Yep.
Always the MVP.
But another thing there is like when somebody joins into the Facebook group, you might see their channel on YouTube, right, or their name on YouTube, but that might not necessarily match their real name on Facebook, or the page that they've created on Facebook that they joined your group with. So because of that, it's actually kind of complicated, and I'm actually in the process of looking for solutions, because a problem that I have is I also have people in my Facebook group right now that are not paying channel members, and because of that, when I put content in there, they're essentially getting access to that content, without anything in exchange, when other people are, paying for that. So I don't think that's fair. So I'm actually in the process right now of actually looking for a solution to that, so I can be a little bit more aggressive on the member side. So so just a heads up, you're going to create that problem for yourself as well when people go over the Facebook page. So you have to make sure that you're monitoring that closely, or just try to find another platform other than Facebook to do that on. Rich Graham says, hey, Nick, can't wait to meet you at Vid Summit. Nice. Love that you're going to Vid Summit. And yeah, man, I will see you there. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So let's see here. So next up on the list here, we got 86 taken care of already. Let me scroll to the top of the page. Bam.
How are we doing on questions?
And we've got, we are number 20 right now.
All right.
Yeah, cruising through these. Yep. So we got behind the videos is our next question here. And we have, they upload 1 time per week or more. They do stories of YouTubers. That's interesting. The goal of the channel is to show interesting, motivating, and entertaining stories of YouTubers. And the question is, I get 30% retention on my videos, 5 to 10 minutes long. How do I improve this and hook people to watch the entire video? This is something you're going to learn along the way. So what you want to experiment with is obviously how you start the videos. So I don't know if you're on camera. I don't know if you're showing the YouTuber on camera. I don't know, exactly what's going into your content. But what you want to experiment with is playing music, not playing music, showing yourself, not showing yourself, the different B-roll. So for example, are you starting with like a graphic talking about the concept that you're going to talk about, or are you going to show a graphic or a video of the YouTuber that you're going to talk about, and, trying to, keep their interest that way. So when it comes to YouTube, especially if you're doing stories of YouTubers, I would check out like Patty Galloway. There's also a bunch of like automated channels that are popping up that are doing the same exact thing that you're doing. And I would look for all the successful videos, like how are they starting their videos, right? Because success leaves clues. So just going and looking at all of those, videos that are doing the same thing, or all those channels that are doing the same thing, and just seeing like, okay, how are they grabbing attention, when their videos first start? How are they telling their stories? How are they getting their story off of the ground, right? Those are things that I would definitely look into there. And like Doug said, better storytelling, better script writing, right?
Better storytelling, better script writing, better editing.
Mm-hmm. Our busy Aussie family says they upload 1 time per week or more. They do family vlogging content. The goal is to share our adventures with the world. And the question is, I've been monetized for a bit over a month now. Congratulations. Says, I've added the sections for membership and have done a bloopers video for members only to see. I've also done a quick video and a short to advertise about our membership offer, which include the bloopers. I also put this into the community tab. My question is that nobody's wanted to be a member. What else do I need to do to try to bring members over? So the people that you are interacting, or the people that are interacting with your content might not care about your bloopers, right?
Yeah.
So
or they might not care about your membership.
Yeah, they might not care about the membership. Well, it's because of the offering,
right? The offer.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like whatever you're offering them for the membership, it's just not attractive
bloopers.
to them.
Yeah, it's bloopers.
Right.
So they might not care about bloopers. So I would just experiment with different things that you're offering until you find something that they enjoy. So a lot of times, if you are doing like vlogging type content, which you are, doing more behind the scenes type stuff where you make additional content for your members is a really common thing with your type of content, where it's like, hey, these are the weekly videos that we put out onto YouTube, but we also put out some exclusive content for our channel members. That's a common approach for that type of content.
Ask your members what they would be interested in. Like they might have some ideas for you.
Totally. Use your community feed. Yeah.
Use your community feed. Ask your members what they'd be interested in. Tell them you want to build a private community and ask them what they'd be interested in.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have 2 sorts of people that are going to be joining you, your membership. Number 1, people who just want to support you because they like you and your family as creators. And number 2, people who are looking for value. People are looking for some sort of value to get something in return. So you have to figure out how to please both of those people.
So Deo says, what kind of content works best to capitalize off a conference like VidCon? Vlogs, recaps, tutorial stories, interviews. So with VidCon, that's like it's more of a fan-focused thing. They do have an industry track where they, share some like higher level things. But like if you are going to go to a conference like as a YouTuber and you're wanting to network with other YouTubers and learn from some of the biggest creators on the platform, you want to go to VidSummit. In terms of the different types of channels, oops, I accidentally deleted your question there. I hit the wrong button. I apologize. Sorry about that, and I don't have a way to bring it back. But when it comes to like the types of channels that are primed for that, it's any channel that wants to grow and better understand YouTube, because they have content creators in all types of different niches there. Entertainment channels, gaming channels, educational channels, all different content types. Go to VidSummit to learn how to do all this stuff better.
One thing between like VidCon and VidSummit, just as you were saying that, I was just thinking about.
See you there, Travis.
The thing with VidSummit, and again, they're doing it in a new location this year.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what the new location is going to be like. But historically speaking, VidSummit is a more intimate environment, and everybody's kind of like in the same hotel for the most part through the entire day, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're going to run into the same people in the elevators, at the restaurants, going through the hallways.
So it's going to be the same in Dallas. So basically, I hopped on Google Earth or Google Maps there,
right?
And I did like a street view, and I'm like looking around,
right,
seeing like trying to catch a vibe, right? Like what's going to be going on here. And basically, the convention center is isolated here, and then it has like
convention center.
Yeah, and then it has like hotels around. So basically, I think it's going to be a similar thing to where like. Where it's basically like leave the hotels and then you go to the convention center, and then once that's over, then people will go back to the hotels, and there'll be like, groups of people hanging out at different hotels. It'll probably be to where they'll, because I know at VidCon this happens too, to where there's like hotels that are dominant in terms of like, okay, these are the ones where the, companies are holding additional events and things like that. So you'll want to go to them. So I'm guessing it's also going to be a pretty cool, intimate experience there too.
So what I do not like about VidCon is it's so big. Mm-hmm. It's so big in the center that it's the Anaheim Convention Center, right? Is that what it's in? Is that what it's called?
Yes. Yeah.
That thing is absolutely massive.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
And it is it's spread out.
But it's by Disneyland or Disney World, whatever.
I don't care about Disney World, but it's completely spread out. So the amount of, number one, the amount of walking that you have to do there is just, it's ridiculous because it's so spread out. And that makes it difficult to actually run into the creators that you want to hang out with or have conversations with. I can't tell you how many times I've made plans. Well, hey, let's meet up for lunch. And then it comes lunchtime or whatever. And like, you're just...
Where are you? On the other side?
Yeah, man. I'm like a 20-minute walk away. So I
no shade on VidCon, by the way. Just sharing like, his experience.
Just my experience. Like it's so big. And I understand that it has to be big because there's a huge turnout.
Yeah.
But it's so big that it's not intimate at all, and it's difficult to have those. It's easy to lose people, and then once you get out of the convention center, it's just like people are going to all these different hotels and there's stuff in the parking lot, and it's just so spread out. That's where I think Vid Summit has historically been really amazing is that it's just like, here's
keeping
the location.
things contained.
It's contained. It's right here. You're going to run into the same people every single day. And in terms of like making connections and networking, I think that's what makes it really powerful. Yeah. 2 cents on that.
So Deo, so again, just because I deleted the other one on accident. So all types of content for like Vid Summit. For VidCon, again, like industry track, technically any type of channel would go there, but that's more for like, you'll see more people there that are talking from like corporate channels and, things like that. So there's less individual, creators sharing things there and more like, corporate channels and that kind of stuff. Some, individual creators share things there as well in the industry tracks and the creator tracks. But in terms of the experience, in terms of the level of the stuff that you're going to learn, Vid Summit's the one you want to go to. If you're like, okay, here's the different conferences that I can go to as a content creator. Go to Vid Summit.
He's talking about he wants to make content to capitalize on those. Talking about like if he's interviewing creators and that sort of thing. So if you're doing that.
Oh,
so if you're doing here's the thing.
I misunderstood. I'm
sorry.
So
if you're going to go to VidCon, you're going to see a lot of creators who are speaking there. A lot of creators go there.
Totally interviews and vlogs. Yeah, any type of collaboration. To where you're doing like interviewing people, because that will give you the opportunity to do very quick interviews with people that already have audiences.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, which means that if you put them in the thumbnail, that some people click on it because they're on it. But one thing with that is remember that when you go there, it's more of like a working and networking thing, and people do make videos. I make videos there too. Yeah. But it's more about that conversation, and then you save the videos and things like that for more downtime and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. If I had to choose one where
vlogs
I would do
and interviews,
vlogs and interviews and stuff,
stories,
I would go to Vid Summit for that as well.
Yeah.
For people are
because everybody's accessible.
Exactly. Right. That's the thing. Like, hey, Nick, how you doing, man?
Yeah. VidCon people are behind, like they put them in different sections and they kind of section everybody off from the public. But at VidCon, we're all peers at VidCon.
Yeah.
So, because of that, you'll be in the hallway and then like you'll look over here and then like Ryan Trahan will be standing over here, like talking to somebody that has like 300 subscribers on their YouTube channel. Right. Trying to tell them like how they can make their channel better.
Yeah. And so VidCon is really, they like have all these different tiers. And even if you get
I feel like we're doing a commercial.
No. And even if you get into this tier, like even if you're on like the creator space, like maybe Instagram will be there and they'll section off this area and you're going to have a special pass to get into there.
YouTube does that too.
Yeah. And if you don't have like, it's like you just get shut out of so many things at VidCon in my experience. Yeah.
VidCon, you're watching it. Vid Summit, you're in it.
Man, nailed it.
Yeah. Tommy T's Extreme Roller Coaster says, thanks, gents. You both and Daniel are the 3 I follow every week for updated content and weekly news. Thank you for that, man. Really appreciate it.
I'll say this. I've never gone to VidCon for anything other than to hanging out. I go to Vid Summit for hanging out, for networking, for speaking, for learning. For like Vid Summit's everything rolled into one. VidCon for me is just hanging out.
Yeah.
It's just hanging out. Because I'm not really interested in hearing like people who work in Instagram give talks,
right?
Because you get a lot of that.
Yeah. So
unless it's like Todd, then I'm going into Todd.
Yeah, but him and Renee did a talk.
Or Roberto.
There. Yeah.
There's some people who go in to hear him talk.
Yeah. T's Hot Miss History says Vid Summit is at my birthday time and in my state. I look forward to meeting everyone. Gift ideas, diamond and cash. See y'all soon. I love it. Yeah. See you there.
Cash.
Diamond and cash.
There we go. We're bringing gifts.
Callister's Recipes, what's going on? Hope you are doing fantastic.
You just got roped into cash.
Yeah, it's great. Yep. So next up on our list here, we have, let's see what we've got. So we've got Fish Head Videos. They do fish, camp, cook, and nature content. The goal of the channel is fun, family, and eventually income. Question is there a way to stop YouTube from automatically setting my mobile live streams to private at the end? With under 1,000 subs, I need the watch time during the stream, but lose it when it gets set to private. Absolutely. What you want to do, and this is going to be a little bit difficult if the only thing you have to access YouTube with is your mobile device, but you can do it. So what you want to do is you want to go into whatever device you're on. You want to open up Google Chrome in your browser. Then you want to go into the address bar at the top and you want to type in studio.youtube.com. You may or may not be logged into your YouTube account already. If not, then you'll need to log in. But once you hit that, it's going to try to force you over into the app. Instead of going into the app, you want to hit the 3-dot icon or the 3-dot menu, which is down in the bottom right-hand corner, and then you want to scroll up and you want to go to the option that says Request Desktop Site. And then when you click on that, then it's going to start showing YouTube and anything else you visit as it would look on a computer. And that's going to allow you to get into more specific things like audience retention reports, additional settings, things like that. So what you want to do in that case is you want to go into your upload defaults. So when you go into your setting there, actually, no. You actually want to go into your live stream settings for this. So give me 1 second.
Just pause for a second. Are you, and I haven't used YouTube to stream directly. Are you telling me that they're doing all of that so you don't, hold on, I'm walking through this right now. Hold on, go live. Have they not fixed that yet? Hold on. Here it is. No, it is fixed.
What?
So you've got visibility as soon as you go live.
In StreamYard?
Are they talking about StreamYard? Or
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're talking about YouTube. His problem is when the stream is finished, it's automatically privating the video.
Because they've got their visibility set.
No, visibility is if people can see it or not.
Right.
So what is happening is people can see it when he's live, but when it's ended, it takes it off.
And it's automatically going out.
Yeah, so you need to actually schedule your live stream, and then once your live stream is scheduled, then you need to go into your details page, I think it is. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find this here. But I think you need to go into your video details page of your live stream, and then I think there maybe is where you check that option. But basically, here's what's going on. So
That's
YouTube,
so chaotic to have to do all that.
So YouTube has an option for live streams that you have to check that says to keep your live stream public when it's finished. I'm looking on the videos details page and it's not here. Okay, so then that would actually happen in your live stream settings for the content. I can't go into that now because I'm currently live, but basically what happens is you want to schedule your stream, and then you want to go into it the same exact way that I told you using Google Chrome, but instead of going down into the settings option, you want to go up and you want to click into the little create button, and then you click on that, and then it's going to give you the option for live stream. Click on that, and then it's going to show you your scheduled live stream, and then you want to click into that, and then in there is where you're going to find that option or that checkbox to make it where you can.
Unbelievable.
It is.
That is unbelievable.
But that's where you find that option to make sure that your streams stay public after they are complete.
Yeah, desktop. You go in there on a desktop and do that. It's going to be a lot easier than the pinch and
yeah. If
zoom.
you got a buddy or something like that's definitely the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Renee says, let me know if there's anything we can improve here. Absolutely, adding that to the mobile app.
Yeah.
Like one thing.
I talked to those guys that doing the mobile app.
Yeah, so Dee's talked to the mobile team over there, or somebody in the mobile team.
They know.
Yeah, they know a lot of this stuff already. He's already sent them that, but he says send him another note also so he can forward it.
Yeah.
But basically, they definitely need to think about, especially with shorts now, they need to think about, the mobile content creators more and make settings. All of the settings, not necessarily all the analytics and stuff, but all of the settings, they need to make sure that content creators can access those in the mobile app. Like this person's situation, for example, like they're going live and it's automatically making them private. So because of that, unless it's been added recently to the mobile app,
I don't see
upload defaults. I don't think are in the mobile app. So like little things like that, to where a content creator can just get all that stuff set up on their mobile device for all the people that only do YouTube on their phone, I think would be just a really big, benefit to mobile content creators, because historically, YouTube has, prioritized desktop, which makes sense, in some cases. But these days, because so many people are making content with just their mobile devices, making everything, more accessible for them, definitely makes sense.
Yeah, we're talking about live streams. Here's the thing that boggles my mind. And again, I'm not, no shade. I think YouTube's doing an amazing job. But there's just some things where you're just left thinking, like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
For example, let's just take, I'm going to take India, for example. If anybody's in India, raise your hand right now watching this. I'm going to take India. India is historically, like, they're making content on phones in India. Yeah. Like, a lot. Mm-hmm. And
U.S. too, like there's a lot of people. If you only, really quick, just for the chat, for the people that are here right now, if you are somebody that only makes videos on your phone, like you don't do any of this stuff on a computer, you only use your phone to create content, upload it to YouTube, and optimize it and everything. Like you do everything on your phone. If that's you, just say me in the chat. I'm curious if there's a lot of them here.
That's what my whole channel was about.
I know.
Like I'm for reference.
Yeah, I know.
I've been able to make a full-time living based on educating people who make content on their phone.
Right, right.
Just give
So
you a
that
reference.
tells you the scale.
That
Totally.
tells you the
Right,
scale,
right.
and I'm just like one guy.
Right.
And there, there's other people doing that as well. But I'm just focused on like one country. I can't even imagine. Like just take India, because I know mobile usage there is like just one of the highest. Parts of Africa and stuff like that. Philippines, Southeast Asia.
Yeah, so we got a few coming into the chat right now.
Like all of these people making content on their phones.
I actually thought there would be more in here. But
well, there could be other times, but there's no excuse, in my opinion, not to have the same basic functions
in settings.
Right, for people who are doing stuff on their phones.
Totally.
And they're getting better. They're getting better. Like I've talked to the lead over in the mobile team, and I know they're adding this stuff, and they're fantastic. They're adding stuff all the time. So props for that. But it's just like, get on it.
Like speed it up a little bit.
Get on it.
Yeah, speed it up a little bit. Yeah.
There was something else we were just talking about, like not too long ago, and they may have added
because the part of what we were talking about, I remember, and you're like, with shorts right now, like I don't know why they're not doing this.
Yeah, but there was something about like monetization, there was something specific where we couldn't believe it wasn't activated for mobile users. I forget what it was.
I'm not sure.
But I know they're working on it. Like they're adding stuff all the time, so I'm not like,
throwing shade.
Yeah, no, I'm not throwing shade. Mad respect, because I know there's a lot to do, but just work faster, guys.
You
work
don't
faster.
wanna throw shade.
Yeah, work faster is all I'm trying to say.
So next up, we've got let's see here. We've got Nerd Potion. Nerd Potion says that they upload daily. They have been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do gaming content. The goal of the channel is for entertainment and fun, and as always, a hope for a career. And the question is, I was wanting to ask if having two channels of almost the exact same name will affect each other as far as search results, algorithm, and recommendations. Example, my main channel is Nerd Potion, and my second channel is Nerd Potion 2.0, and I'm afraid that they're affecting each other. No. So each channel is treated differently. Each video is treated differently on YouTube. So because of that, you're fine having like a Nerd Potion and a Nerd Potion 2.0. Another thing that content creators, you'll typically see on YouTube is you'll have content creators that'll have a main channel. And then once they get a following, they'll have people asking questions about their lives and things like that. And they'll say like, well, that's not what my channel's about. I talk about, TV reviews, but since people are wanting to know all this stuff because I kind of, talk about it every now and then in a video or live stream or something, I'm going to make a vlog channel. So then instead of it being, Nick Nimin, it would be Nick Nimin Vlogs, right? And people do that kind of thing a lot too. So, you don't have anything to worry about there. Everything's basically going to be based on just how people respond to the content on each channel. That's the most important thing, and that's really the only thing that will make a difference there.
Did you see what Doug wrote? And I forgot about this. He says, YouTube says, to help make YouTube a safe community for everyone, we may limit the amount of viewers on your mobile stream. Well, that's convenient. Thank you. And archived live streams will be set to private by default.
Oh.
So that's for people under 1,000 subscribers.
Oh, okay.
I would love to know the reasoning behind that.
Hey, Doug, when you get the chance, will you send me that link on Discord also?
I would love to know the reason, like the true reason behind that. That's really interesting.
I wonder.
I remember hearing this at one time and I completely forgot about it.
Like the thing about
limiting the number of people on your streams. That's really interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, because that's like, okay, well, because I'm doing it on my phone, and you're even talking about this. You're like, hey, I'm thinking about just having like a little side channel for fun to where I like drive people around town and show them a little bit about Thailand.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing like a vlogging thing.
Yeah.
And like, just seeing that, I'm just like, maybe
it's
I won't.
like, well, you're going to be limited when you do it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
at least until you get to that, that amount of, that amount of time.
Know the reason about Renee.
So Travis says that it's because of the people who have streamed, terror acts and things like that. That makes sense for people going in and doing that. But if somebody
hold on, we're only going to let 100 people watch an act of terror.
Well, they would know that it was that though. They wouldn't know it was that until it happened.
What's the difference?
But yeah, you're right.
50 people can watch it or 500 people can watch it. You're streaming it.
Right.
You're streaming it.
And then if they get 1,000 subscribers, then it's okay.
Right.
They can have more.
Right.
Yeah, you can have more people watching if you get 1,000 subscribers.
Hit 1,000 subscribers and do your worst. We will stream that. But if you have under 1,000 subscribers, you are not worthy of streaming your acts of terror on YouTube. I mean, that's essentially what they're saying.
Yeah.
That's literally what they're saying, actually. Like,
so next up, we've got Hobby Genix.
Renee, get on that. What's going on, man?
Hobby Genix says that they upload when they have time. The type of channel is crafting and hobbies. The goal of the channel is to entertain people, have fun, and eventually make money. And the question is, when is the right time to monetize, and can you do it too soon? I built a website with a store and Patreon-like memberships, but haven't populated or turned it on yet because I don't feel I have enough videos to justify it, and I don't want to look like the channel is just a cheap excuse to sell things, because that is definitely not my intention. Just want to support the channel to allow more and better content. So in my opinion, I think content creators should be trying to figure out how to monetize if they plan to do this for a long time. I think content creators should be trying to monetize as fast as possible. I don't think that monetization should take priority over skill building. I think skill building should be the priority in terms of, like, you know, if you have monetization attached to your content, but you just don't know how to get people to respond to your content yet, it's not going to do anything for you. But having some things in place is helpful just in case. But when you, like, if you focus like, okay, well, I'm doing this affiliate thing, so I gotta, you know, I'm going to spend like 4 hours trying to find the best affiliate, you know, thing for this. And then I'm going to make sure that I'm, you know, putting that in my video descriptions and all that. Like, that's fine. But if you still, like, are working on, like, okay, I'm having trouble getting people to click on my content, then, you know, focus on that first. And then once you can get some type of activity on the channel, you know, with the videos, then in that case, as soon as you can start getting some type of activity, like 100 views, then, you know, then start, you know, working in monetization. Now, you know, again, I'm a fan of monetizing as fast as possible, because you don't know when your next video is going to, you know, put you on the map, so to speak. So because of that, I'm a big fan of getting monetization in place as fast as you possibly can, and in some cases, even your very first video. And the reason for that, like I said, is because you don't know when that next video is going to pop. Plus, you don't know if that very first video that you published, it might not do great when you first publish, or it may, but that video, once YouTube gets a clear understanding of the people that are responding to your content, it might take you 10 videos or 20 videos on the channel, and then YouTube's like, oh, hey, these people are responding to all this other videos. Let's show them that first video. And then they start showing that first video, and then people have a high response to that. That video could still blow up. So, you know, because of that, having some of those things in place is really advantageous. But I would not sacrifice, like, the skill building side in order to, you know, get those things in place if, you know, you're still working on, like, man, I'm just trying to, you know, figure out how to get people to watch more than, like, you know, 18 seconds on my video. If you're there, then I would work on that part first. But if you're like, okay, I can get people through my video, I've got people clicking on my content, I'm getting, like, you know, 50 to 100 views per video, then going ahead and saying, like, you know what, I'm gonna put something in here, you know, some type of affiliate link or something like that, while I'm waiting on ads, or always, is definitely something to do. Even in your case, right? You have this website that you built. So there, you know, branding the website around what it is that you're doing. You could even do it in a subtle way to where when you start your videos, you're like, you know, I'm just going to pretend your name is Nick, but you'd be like, I'm going to pretend your name is Nick and your website is craftingandhobbies.com. So basically when your video starts, hey, I'm Nick from craftingandhobbies.com. Welcome to another video, blah, blah, blah. And then you start getting into, you know, the thing, or just start getting into the thing. And then somewhere say, hey, you know, by the way, I'm Nick from craftingandhobbies.com. Or if you don't want to do any of that, because of course you want to get people into the content as fast as possible, another kind of sly thing you can do there that's non-interruptive is you can have what's called a lower third pop up on your video. A lower third is a graphic that pops up in the lower third of your video. So you can make that to where it just pops up, says your name, and then underneath your name, it has your, you know, whatever value it is that you're offering on your website, and then it has, you know, that, you know, .com. So in my case, if I was doing something for like Tuber Tools, which is my website where content creators can get graphics for their videos, then I would say, you know, I would have my name, Nick Nimin, and then underneath there, I would say, you know, get graphics for your videos at tubertools.com. Or I could just put it down there for the sake of curiosity and say, you know, owner of tubertools.com. And then by doing those two things, it's like, okay, well, you know, I'm spreading awareness about it without being like, you know, crazy aggressive about it, just to make sure I have, you know, these things in place when I'm publishing. Really long answer to say, make sure your skills are the priority and then monetize as fast as possible, in addition to ad revenue.
Got a super chat. It says, okay, D, this question is for you.
All right.
Interesting. No offense, Nick, he says.
Hey, no problem.
But how would you make a roller coaster video short? Make a video on a roller coaster exciting.
Drops.
For the first 10 seconds exciting. Yeah, it depends. Okay, I'm not a roller coaster enthusiast.
Drops.
So I'm not sure what your audience likes, but I would try drops. I would also try things like this, because I know some people are like really into roller coasters. So I would talk about,
or time it. So let's say you got 60 seconds. So let's say you're doing like 50 seconds of the climb, and then that last 10 seconds is the drop.
Yeah. So that's one way. So you could start. I'm going to give you a couple options here. One, you could just film it as you're going, and if you lose your phone doing this or your GoPro, I'm not taking any responsibility.
It's all game roller coasters. It's not real roller coasters.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
so it's game roller coasters. Yeah, so basically, what he would be able to do in his case is he would be able to, and I know he asked you this, but I'm just giving you context. So you know what's going on.
There's game roller coasters.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Make that make sense to me.
So basically, you can do this in VR too. So you can do it on like a normal computer. You can do it in VR. But basically, you essentially ride the roller coaster. Okay. Yeah, if you go to his channel, you'll see exactly what's going on. Yeah.
Okay, so drops.
So on drops are doing, like that part of it, because that, that part builds that anticipation, like, oh, what's this going to be like, type of thing. And you can see the end coming. So then it's like, oh, here it comes. I wonder what this drop is going to be like. Yeah.
Okay.
But one thing he could do there is he could have one to where he just experiments.
Game roller coaster. So bizarre.
He experiments with, that climb, and he times it around the short, of course, but, do different video links to see if there's one, if you find a sweet spot, but basically have it to where you have the climb, and then the drop for, the satisfaction side of it. And then you have, you could also do like different drops. So, for example, like it starts and you take like 10 different games and you put them together, and it's like this, like 10 best roller coaster, drops, and it's like bam, 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 and then you just show those, so people are like, whoa, cool, cool.
I'm trying to wrap my head around the idea that people play roller coaster games.
Yeah. So Fretboard Diary says Planet Coaster is one of the ones.
Yeah, that's news to me. So my thought was, if you were a real roller coaster channel,
like GoPro in it with like a chest GoPro. No.
Well, yeah, that. But I was thinking about too, because one thing that works really well is, I see a lot of people doing well, is they'll just show something. They'll show something. You might say something like, this is the fastest roller coaster in Six Flags. Like really quick right out of the gate. Yep. You got some captions on the top. You're actually shoot like the craziest looking part of the roller coaster. This is the fastest roller coaster in Six Flags, or this is the biggest
games. Yeah, it's games though. Yeah.
Right. If somebody's watching with the real roller coaster channel, I'm going to help you out.
Covered. You're right.
Right. This is the biggest. Yeah. This coaster's the biggest drop in the world. Right. Like show it really quick. Fast editing, and then maybe you can actually film that drop coming in, or the speed of it, or something like that. But in terms of the hook, tell them what it is, let them know why it is what it is, and do it that way. But if you're doing video games, I got nothing. I don't play video games. I didn't even know roller coaster games were a thing. I learned something today.
No.
But I don't understand the attraction to it. If it's not VR, and excuse me my ignorance on this, if it's not VR, what's the attraction to a roller coaster game?
Not sure.
Well, you're aware of them.
I'm aware, but I'm not like, I don't watch those or play those play those games. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not a roller coaster person, and I had no idea that was a game thing. VR, I get it. Like, you're in the experience or whatever. But if you're a game, like, what's the point? Like, do you get points for riding it?
I don't know. I don't know if it's points for riding it. I don't know if you can control the speed. Maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah, it could be like a thing where you try to keep it in the rails. Maybe I'm not sure.
Someone in the chat, Tommy, maybe you can explain. Like, what's the goal of a roller coaster game? Do you like ride it without a harness and see how long you can, like a mechanical bull, without getting thrown out? Like, what do you do with the roller coaster game? Because I'm blown away here.
And really quick, while he's working on that,
you build the roller coasters.
While he's working on that, Shaking Hands and Art with Fralins and Friends says, can I sell my own products and art from my channel? I have 500 subscribers. So what you can do, in your case specifically, is you could set up like a Shopify store, and then you could link to that in your video description. At 500 subscribers, I don't think, I'd have to double check. I didn't sleep well last night, so my brain's not where it normally is, if you can't tell by my energy today. But basically, once you hit a certain subscriber threshold, you can directly connect that Shopify account to your YouTube channel, and then your art would show up underneath. Then your art would show up underneath your YouTube videos. So what you want to do is, in the meantime, while you're getting to that milestone, is you can go ahead and set up a Shopify store. On that Shopify store, you can make your art available there, and then you can let people know that it's available in your video description, and then they can go into your video description and click a link that will take them to your store, where they can purchase the art that you have on your YouTube channel. So there's a little bit of a learning curve involved with that in terms of the setup. There's tons of videos on YouTube that will help you, figure out how to set up those, that type of shop. Plus Shopify themselves, they have like training material and stuff like that. Definitely comes with a little bit of a learning curve, but you can, just spend the time on it and you'll be able to, figure it out, no problem.
Yeah, so I'm like learning stuff today. So
yeah, D's like blown away by the roller coaster.
No,
I love
this
it.
is
yeah.
So yeah, I'm being told that you can build your own roller coaster games that you build and ride it. Other people says that you can set your building and riding without the worry of proper code or danger.
Nice, nice.
It's building. Hold on, it's building and watching your creation come to life without the hard work. That's fascinating. I had no idea this thing existed. So if that's the case, I mean, I would have to know what your audience is actually interested in. Are they interested in the drops, or are they interested in the creation that you've made? If they're interested in the creation that you've made, again, tell them what it is. I just made the craziest roller, whatever. Tell them what it is. Sell a little bit. Make it sound exciting. I'm going to have to look into this. I'm blown away.
So I just had a super chat disappear here. Give me 1 second. Let me go back in and find this. And really quick, Homekeeping Channel. Welcome to the Niminati there. Make sure you go to niminvip.com. It's going to redirect you to the Facebook group. Of course, fill out the information on the way in. If you can do that before the stream is over today, then I can get you in there before the stream is over.
Costume Co says, I'm not into gaming, but that sounds like so much fun. Okay, building a roller coaster
hold on, really quick.
Awesome.
So to Upstate and Beyond, they said they just wanted to say thanks for all the tips and info. Their channel just recently hit 1,500 subscribers. Now just working on our watch hours. Congratulations to you. High five and fist bump for getting your first 1,500 subscribers on your channel.
All right, I have to look into this. Somebody suggest a game to me, not where I can ride. I'm not interested in riding it. Where I can build a roller coaster and then like check the physics of it. Do they do that?
I have no idea.
Can you check the physics of the roller coaster you build? Somebody give me a name. I'm fascinated.
So it looks like they also have business management. So I guess you can build one people want to ride and get more people into the park.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, Tommy. Yeah, send me some information on it. Yeah, that's fascinating.
D likes to build stuff. So D might actually get into that. Actually,
yeah, like riding it, I couldn't wrap my head around it. I really want to ride a game or ride like VR. I get it, but just like normally, like okay, woo,
Yeah, totally.
Woo, but like
you sit in front of the computer,
right? Whoa.
Yeah. Well, that was intense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was trying to wrap my head around it. Like, hey, here we go. We're going upside
Yeah, I didn't
down.
know either. I didn't know if it was like riding it or building it or whatever.
Building it and trying to get the physics right and trying to get the structure right.
So you have three recommendations here: two: Roller Coaster Tycoon and Planet Coaster.
D, respectfully, sometimes it feels like you interrupt your bro quite a bit. I do.
He does.
I do.
That's his role. He loves it. Yeah,
I do.
That's his role. Yeah.
I do.
So next up on the list here.
Oh my God.
We have Stealthy Sprite. Stealthy Sprite does gaming and game review content. The goal of the channel says grow it as much as I can. I also want to start streaming, and the question is, should I put quality in my videos or quantity? So we talked about this earlier. So just remember that you need to get your content, no matter what, to a level that it's competitive for the platform. Once you do that, if you want to, and by competitive for the platform, I mean that it's that viewers are enjoying the content, not necessarily that it's quality in a technical nature, but just to a point where people are enjoying it at scale, right? Once you do that, and once you get it to that point, then from there, that's when you can start deciding like, hey, do I want to ramp this up or not? But here's the thing that's very important about this that I didn't mention when we first started, talking about that previously today, is if you don't make content that's competitive for the platform, no amount of quantity is going to get you what you want from your YouTube efforts. It doesn't matter if you put out 1 million videos on your YouTube channel. If you don't make content that people respond to in a positive way, then in that particular case, even 1 million videos isn't going to, 1 million videos isn't going to do anything for you. Because, if people don't respond well to it, then no amount of content is going to just suddenly make people respond well to it. But if you are like, hey, I'm trying to make, something for other people here, and I'm trying to make it as good as I possibly can for them, and I'm paying really close attention to how people are responding to the videos that I'm publishing, what topics that I talk about that people like more than others, what themes that I do that people like more than others, then in that case, it gives you the lead on what to do next, right? So because of that, just focus on, adding value to the people that are watching your content. Try to make it as technically good as you need to, but keep in mind it doesn't have to be perfect in terms of audio and video quality. It just has to be good enough to where people can come into it, they can enjoy it, to where the quality itself isn't a distraction, right? So if the audio is just horrible, then of course people are gonna be like, yeah, this is garbage. I can't even tell what's going on here, and they'll leave. But if the audio is good enough to where people are not thinking anything about the audio, then you've hit the mark. If your video content is good enough to where nobody's thinking like, wow, this looks weird, or like, wow, this is something's uncomfortable about this, not sure what it is. Like, you know, if you're not hitting any of that stuff, or it's like, hey, it's too dark, I can't see anything, then in that case, you know, you've hit that, you know, minimum mark. And then from there, it becomes all about the viewer experience and what it is that they're getting from your content. And then once you crack those two things, then you can, you know, amplify, you know, the quantity if you want to.
Dude, did you see this? So Fretboard Diaries says those games show G-forces and how sick people will get.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
That's incredible.
It is.
So you can desigine your roller coaster.
So this time, so like tonight, Dee's going to send me a message like, holy cow, dude, I think I just found my thing.
Yeah, Tommy, we're going to have to do collabs in the future, man. Yeah, but shorts right there. This roller coaster is guaranteed to make you sick. There's a hook.
Yeah, that is.
Right?
That's good. Yep.
Wow, I'm fascinated.
Stealthy Sprite, my pleasure. So next up, we have Rusty Graffiti Reviews. They do bi-weekly content. They've been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do graffiti products, and it's a graffiti product review channel. I just want to say how awesome that is really quick.
What is it?
Basically, the channel is, from what I'm picking up here, they are reviewing products that people use for graffiti. That's awesome.
That's super niche, and I love it.
Yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. But the goal of the channel is to pass my knowledge and experience with new projects to others. And the question is, I have no face review channel because the nature of the content, totally get it. What I want to know is there a way to go live, but with my face distorted so I can interact with viewers, but still remain anonymous? So they do have voice changing software, and they do have voice changing hardware as well. So I think, hey, Dee, does your, what's that thing you have over there that's not the Rodecaster, but the other one? Does that have voice changing on it? Okay, so the Go XLR has some, but Dee says it's not that great. The Rodecaster Pros, the new ones, they also have voice-changing things in there as well, where you'd be able to do that. You can pitch it up or pitch it down. You also have like robot voices and things like that in there. There's also some software options as well. I don't have them here. I have them at home, and I don't ever use them, but I can't remember off the top of my head what they are. But if you have a Stream Deck, they actually have one in there that also, you know, is a voice changer as well, where you can trigger that there. It requires a little bit of a setup on the software side, but you can absolutely, you can absolutely accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. The hardware version is going to be more expensive, where the software version is going to be almost free, if not completely free. Let's see here. Next up on the list, we've got Olisa Korobka. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. Says they have a professional niche content about SEO. Very cool. Says the goal is search engine optimization. In case you don't know what SEO is for everybody watching, the goal is to help people get better at search engine optimization and to get more profit or satisfaction and recognition from what they do. And the question is, should I try paid ads to get more views, or will it ruin my organic performance? So if people respond highly to your content, you can mix the two if you want to. It's usually recommended that you don't, because you know, in some cases, you know, like you could target the wrong audience, and then if those people start interacting with your content, it can kind of send your channel in another direction. So because of that, you know, if you do take that approach, you have to be kind of careful exactly who it is that you're advertising to and make sure that you are targeting everything properly. But if you can get an organic response from your content, you can support that with ads if you want to. But one thing to, you know, make sure that you keep in mind is that you do not want to use ads as a crutch. And what I mean by that is, if the content that you're making right now, if the reason that you're wanting to run ads is because you are having trouble getting people to respond organically to your videos, you got to fix that problem first. And the reason for that is because, let's say you say, I'm going to spend like $1,000 on this video because I also have some other monetization things built in, which is another important part of it. Like, I never recommend using ads just to grow the channel. Like, if you're going to use ads, you should have a way to make a return on those ads, you know, either through courses that you're selling in your particular case, or other products that you have, or something like that, or like an affiliate offer that's attached to the video or something along those lines, so you can get a real return on it instead of it just being a total loss for the sake of vanity metrics. But when you are, if you don't have, you know, that organic response on your channel yet, and then you're just like, hey, I'm just going to flood, you know, this with ads, then it might look great from the outside, but what's going to happen is, as soon as you turn off your ad spend, if you haven't learned how to get that organic response yet, then what's going to happen is all of your traffic is going to dry up, because you still, even if YouTube says, hey, here's, you know, one of Olicia's videos on a homepage to one of the people that interacted with your content. If they show one of your pieces of content there, if you haven't learned how to get them to click yet, then they're not going to respond to your content because they're still not going to click, right? So because of that, you know, you have to make sure that you get all of that under control first. And then once you get all of that under control, then that's where if you want to, you know, supplement what it is that you're doing with ads, then, you know, you can definitely do that. But from what I'm looking at right here, it looks like, you know, 5 months ago, you had a video with like 2,000 views on it. You had another video with like 1.8 thousand. So you are able to get people to click. So, you know, because of that, you might be okay. You got another video here with like 6,000, another one with 3.8 thousand from, you know, 2 years ago. So you might be able to get people to click. So because of that, in your case, if you wanted to supplement, you can. But, you know, just keep in mind that when you do that, you have to make sure that you're targeting everything perfectly, because if not, you know, it can end up, you know, that whole attempt can end up kind of blowing up in your face, so to speak. I recommend, you know, organic, you know, just focusing everything on organic growth if you can, but you know, ads is definitely something you can supplement with if you want to. Next on our list, we've got Learn Spanish World. What's up, man? Hope you're doing great. It says they do educational content. The goal of the channel is to provide educational value to my YouTube community while I work hard in order to become a full-time YouTuber. And the question is, I've been offered several sponsorships in the past few weeks. However, most of the offers involve downloading large files and software. I'm worried I could be downloading viruses or that someone may try to gain access to my channel. I've heard a few horror stories about people losing their channel after downloading fake sponsorship-related files. How can someone determine if a sponsorship is genuine? Thanks, amigo. So if somebody is a software company, like, for example, like, you know, the agreements that I have with Camtasia, right? As part of that, you know, I get a copy of Camtasia. So, I mean, I bought it in the past, but, you know, as part of our, you know, deal, I get a copy of Camtasia that lasts for the duration of our deal. And with that, you know, I need to download that software so that I can use it, but they're a reputable company. If I had some brand new company pop up and they were trying to get me to do that, I just wouldn't do it. Because, you know, like you're saying, you know, there's so many horror stories right now. I would never download a zip file from anybody. I would never download, you know, a piece of software unless you know for certain that it's a reputable company. And you can check that by, of course, checking out their website, but also going to their LinkedIn account, seeing what's going on there, going to any Facebook pages they have, see what's going on there, and just getting an idea of like, okay, has this company been around a little bit? Are they reputable? You know, that whole thing. You really have to be diligent there in your research to make sure that you know, the people that you're interacting with are solid. Now, of course, there are other things like, you know, you can check your email headers and you can see where the email is coming from, making sure it's coming from, you know, the company that they're saying they're, you know, representing, that kind of stuff. But what you're talking about here, where you download like a PDF or you download a zip file or a piece of software, that is like those are the #1 ways that people get access to people's YouTube channels. So I would definitely be extremely cautious with that. Because you don't want to put yourself, you know, in that situation. Let's see here. Next. So we've got Legend Deshawn. Legend Deshawn says that they upload every other day. The type of channel is GTA ARP. And zombie-style games that are free. The goal of the channel is to create a big community of like-minded people who enjoy games similar to mine and try to give me and my wife a great life. And the question is, how do I make my channel stand out over others and make better quality videos? So the very first thing, of course, when it comes to making better quality videos is looking to see what everybody else is doing and, you know, getting your stuff to, you know, that level. Of course, everybody's going to interpret quality differently. You have like the technical quality in terms of like your camera optics, your audio quality, the editing, you know, the style of your editing, all that. And then you have viewer perceived quality, which is, does somebody come into the content and enjoy it? Yes or no? And does that happen at scale at a competitive level? Yes or no? So that's, you know, how you make sure that you are competitive in your space. But when it comes to standing out, I'm not sure if your wife's part of the content or not, but like, you know, you or you guys, you are going to be like the core thing that helps you stand out. But in addition to that, trying to come up with different themes that other people are not doing is something that can also help you stand out. So for example, if everybody's doing like Let's Plays and guides and, you know, those sorts of things, then in that case, you could be doing like, you know, this isn't really playing the game. This is just making videos about the game where you are, you know, like, you know, jumping off of something 100 times times in the game, or you are seeing like exactly how high you can jump from before, before it hurts the character, something like that. But you start doing, just different themes than what everybody else is doing. And one really easy thing that you can do here is you can look across different gaming genres, people that cover different games, and just see like what are some things that they're doing in Call of Duty that they're not necessarily doing in like this zombie game, or what are some things they're doing in Fortnite that they're not doing in this zombie game, and then start applying some of that stuff to the zombie game if you don't have your own original ideas, and then from there try to stem off of that and try to come up with some more unique stuff. But standing out on YouTube is pretty easy. So, that's going to come down to like your style in terms of how you're making the content. It's going to come down to the themes that you have on your channel, and then it's going to come down to your personality. Since everybody has, wildly different personalities just as human beings, that by itself is going to be something that's going to, make a big difference. And of course, if you're great at the game, then that's also going to be something that's going to make a big difference as well. Because, if you're like, hey, I'm trying to grow this channel, but I'm really bad at the game, then in that case, that may not be as interesting unless you make being bad at the game a part of the thing, right? Then in that case, it might be more interesting to people, but that's where you do more mess up stuff. Like, hey, I'm just going to see how many times I can fall off of this before it hurts me, and those types of things. One thing Roberto Blake here says is that quality equals personality, performance, and production. Personality is style, structure, and storytelling. Production is audio, video, lighting. Performance is confidence, communication, and connection. Love that, Roberto. Thank you for adding that. So next up, we have Pixie Dust Traveler. Pixie Dust Traveler has been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do travel content. The goal of the channel is to provide a resource for viewers to check out locations and reviews on places before they visit. Hopefully one day for it to be my full-time job. And the question is, after uploading long-form content, how long should you wait to upload a short for that video? My analytics tell me that shorts drive viewers to my channel like 90%. In that case, go ahead and upload it. Like, when you upload the video, so when you upload a video to YouTube and when you upload a short to YouTube, so the short will compete with the video a little bit on like home pages and stuff like that. But in terms of the shorts feed, like that goes out to a totally different, group of people. So because of that, publish your video, give it a little bit of time, in terms of like maybe a few hours or maybe even the next day, and then publish that, that short to promote it. But what I recommend that you do is experiment with it. So try doing one like right after you publish and just see what happens, and then do another one that's maybe like 12 hours later, because then maybe you hit like a different demographic for it, and then do another one that is just a temporary demographic, because long term you'll hit everybody, and then do another one that's about 24 hours later, and just see if you notice something that works better. And then when you do, then just try testing it a few more times just to confirm that that's a consistent result, not just like a one-off.
Hey Ed, how you doing, man?
What's up, Ed? Hope you're doing great. Next up, we got Nathaniel Robinson. Nathaniel Robinson does daily content. The type of channel is vlog content. The goal is to show the world his incredible family. And the question is, hello, Dee and Nick. On my channel, I do videos and vlogs with my amazing family. My question is, how do you convince people to click and watch the videos and in turn subscribe to the channel? Dee, go.
Hold on. I just want to say that
You still on the roller coaster thing?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say, all right, I just got to say, I was in there watching roller coaster videos, and I'm hooked.
I took a break, and I was going down the roller coaster game rabbit hole. No, I was going to say that I just think it's amazing that people make videos about their amazing family.
Yeah,
I
me too.
would never make a video about you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know you wouldn't.
Right?
Yeah.
I would never make a video about you.
I would make videos about you.
No, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm just giving a hard time.
Love it.
I would.
I'd make a full documentary about you, Dee.
I would.
And you wouldn't even make a short about me.
No, I would. I would. I
oh,
would.
Love it.
I would. I would make a short about
Hey,
this is my brother, Nick.
That's it. That's it. Short.
That's the short.
This is my brother Nick.
So what was the
It'd
question?
probably get more views than my documentary.
Yeah. What was the question?
So I don't know how to make a documentary. Says they do videos and vlogs with their amazing family. The question is, how do you convince people to click and watch the videos and in turn subscribe to the channel?
How do you get them to click? So you're going to get them to click by the idea of the video, right? To the idea of the video, the title of the video, and the thumbnail of the video. That's how you get people to click, and it has to be something that interests them. You need to figure out why people want to watch your videos in the first place. What is your current, what is anybody watching your videos for? Are you doing challenges? Are you traveling? Are you trying to teach people how to travel with your family? So getting them to click is about the idea and about the packaging. Once they get into it, it's going to be on how you can communicate, how you can show fun, how it, you know, whatever it is you're trying to effectively do in your video. Are you teaching them how to do something with their family? Are you having fun? Are you going on vacations? Or whatever it is that you're doing, make it entertaining, make it valuable in one way or another, and work on your editing to keep them interested. And in terms of subscribing, of all the things that you're trying to do, I would put subscribing at the end of the list in terms of priorities. You know, getting them to click, getting them to stop scrolling and getting them to click.
Hey, Heidi.
It's going to be like the best thing you can do right now. Learning how to come up with the right concepts, the right ideas in the first place for your family. Focus on that. Getting them to subscribe. People are going to come on board if they're interested in what they're doing, you know, interested in what you're doing. But just asking them to subscribe, or put a graphic on the screen reminding people to subscribe. But I would say if you're going to tell people to subscribe, ask them to subscribe, or do anything, give them something first. Don't start your video, hey, we're the whatever, don't forget to like and subscribe and do all the stuff. Like, come in with the video, make it entertaining, give them something to talk about, or make them laugh or something, then remind them to subscribe. Give them a little bit of value, then ask them to do something.
And really quick, if you don't mind, like I'd like to hop on that value piece.
Hop on that value piece.
So, like, one big problem that a lot of family channels have is they want to make family videos and then they want people to like them.
Right.
Instead of that, like Dee was talking about on the value side, what you want to think about is like, okay, we're making videos about our family, but we're making videos for other people. Right. So because of that, you want to make sure that, you know, in terms of like topically, that it makes sense for somebody to watch. You want to make sure in terms of the experience people are having, that they don't feel like they're just watching, you know how it is. You've been there where it's like, you know, you go over to somebody's house and like, hey, we went on this vacation. Check out these videos that we made. And you're like, oh God.
Yeah,
and you're like
that's exactly what it is.
And you're looking at your watch like, okay, yeah, this is going to be great. And you're like, oh yeah, oh wow, looks like you guys had a good time. But really, you're like, you're like, oh man, you know, I can't wait till this is over.
Drunk drivers are going to be on the roads.
Right, better get out of here. Right. Yeah. So like, you know, you have, you know, that whole thing. But like when you are like, okay, we're entertaining other people here with this content. Yeah. So because of that, we need to design everything that we're doing around that experience that others are having while they're interacting with us.
Yeah, I think of family vlogging channels. A lot of people getting started with that, just like you were talking about, right? Come over and watch our videos. Or everybody who's been on Facebook has at least one friend, at least one, who's constantly posting photos of their kids. Mm-hmm. And you think, and you're lying if you don't think this, you think, I don't care about your kid, right? I don't care about your kid. Or maybe that's just me.
Yeah, maybe it is.
No, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, you don't care. Just like, here's just random pictures of my kid. Right. Oh, here's little Joey.
Yeah, you can unfollow those people, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I know. I know you can. But I'm just saying, like, oh, here's little Joey.
Actually, you're not even on Facebook anymore. You've unfollowed Facebook.
Right.
Yeah, you're like, you know what? Not even participating.
Right.
Yeah.
But the idea is people are just showing this stuff, and it's just like not of any value to you whatsoever, and you're not interested.
Yeah.
And I think the mistake that a lot of family vlog channels have is they're trying to document just like what's going on with their family, and that's cool.
Yeah. And you can do that. You just have to make it for other people.
Right. Yeah. That's cool.
About you for other people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's really cool to do, but you have to find a way to get your audience to be invested in what your family's doing. Otherwise, it turns into that exact situation where people are like, I don't care what your family's doing.
Right.
That's not interesting to me.
Or they just won't click on it.
Yeah. Right.
They'll click on it once, and then they'll be like, oh, okay, won't click on that anymore.
Yeah. So you really, I would watch successful family channels and see what they're doing. Look at the topics. Look at how they're packaging everything up with the thumbnails and the titles. Look at their editing. Look at how they shoot the videos. Look at the pacing of the videos, because they've obviously figured out what works. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you, but they figured out at least how it works for their family. So I would look at the ones that are most successful and try to reverse engineer why they're doing well.
Yeah, and also like try to define it for yourself too. Like, you know, when you're putting something together, think to yourself like, okay, like why would somebody want to watch through this? Like, yeah, it's my family and they're amazing, but why would a total stranger be interested in what it is that we're doing? Like, what are we featuring that is, you know, interesting enough that, you know, that people will want to, you know, come in and participate.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with vloggers in general, right? Like, I'm not just pouncing on family channels here, but just vloggers in general.
Yeah,
like, I'm going to, you know, Home Depot today. Or like, I don't care. Like, give me a reason to care that you're going to whatever.
Right.
Like, you have to find a reason to do it for yourself, but you have to give me a reason to want to care about what you're doing at the same time.
Right.
And that's tricky. That's really tricky, and that's why so many people struggle to succeed with those channels.
Tommy T's Extreme Roller Coaster, thank you for the super chat. Says, so you guys said, would a 15-second intro be the best for a coaster video? I would just try to get people into the actual content for the long form video, but don't
overthink that.
Yeah, for the shorts though, yeah, same exact thing there. Like I would just try to get them into the actual content. Like I wouldn't worry too much about intros outside of just letting people know what they're getting ready to experience. If there is some type of build up that you can do, if it's like, hey, I don't say anything in these videos and basically it just comes on and then they go through that process, then in that particular case, there's not a ton of additional, stuff that you can add to that if you're not going to do voice on it. But, I would just get them into the actual, into the actual content itself. Another thing I would experiment with too, if you are taking people on the rides is, look in your audience retention and you should see across your videos, like parts that people jump to or parts that people skip, things like that. And that might also give you a good lead on, one, shorts to make, but two, it could also give you a good lead on the things to keep and the things to exclude from the videos. And it could also give you a good lead on if you're building something, then like, hey, if these are the things that people are kind of skipping to and looking for, then let me make sure I'm building more of that into the builds that I do when I'm putting everything together.
Yeah, Roberto says, Tommy, watch Mr. Beast's gaming channel for examples of a good intro for you. I mean, they've got that dialed in. Again, I don't know who your audience is, right? Mr. Beast appeals to a certain demographic. But look at the channels that are succeeding.
Yeah.
Look at the channels that are succeeding and try to think like a viewer, and then try to figure out, okay, if I'm thinking like a viewer, then this is how they're succeeding on the platform. What are they doing? And as a viewer, how is that attractive to me? And then just try to figure that out.
Mm-hmm. So next up on our list here, we got Nobu Masuka. I apologize if I'm saying that incorrectly.
Like I watched what you were doing.
What?
Like when I got started.
You what?
Like I watched what you were doing.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm like, okay, I'm going to get into...
You were here doing it with me.
Well, I know, but
started.
To get into videos, I was like, okay, well, who's making some sort of education content when it comes to... It doesn't matter what it is, just who's doing education content. And I just started looking around. I was looking at how you're doing it. I was looking at how Roberto was doing it. And I was looking at how Brian G. Johnson was doing it. I was looking at how Daryl Eves was doing it, and Tim Schmoyer and Sean Cannell. I was looking at all the people doing these things. I was like, okay, their cadence is like this, their pacing is like this, their editing is like this. Just to give me an idea. Okay,
they're incredibly handsome.
They're incredibly handsome. And I would just think, this is working for them. What are they doing? What are they all doing and that's working? And I just started like reverse engineering that stuff. Okay, they're doing this, they're editing this much, they're cutting this much, they're pacing, their speed, and then I just started testing that stuff out.
Boom.
People who are succeeding are usually succeeding for a reason.
Right.
They figured it out.
Right. Next up, we've got we've got Nobu Masukiwa. I apologize if I'm saying that incorrectly. He says they do personal finance content. The goal of the channel is to drive traffic to my course offers. And the question is there any benefit to making old videos private that are not related to your new content? My current content is for first-time home buyers. Old content is credit repair. My old credit repair vids still get tons of views and are my highest viewed videos in the last 28 days, even though I haven't made any vids on that topic in a while. My newer home buying vids are on a struggle bus. So so that can happen. So basically what's happening is like, let's say somebody comes and they watch one of those videos that are unrelated to the new content that's bringing in all the traffic. Then YouTube shows them some of your new content when you publish it because those people have recently interacted with your channel and enjoyed that content. That's why people that's why you keep getting views on it, because people enjoy it. And YouTube tests your content against them, and then they don't respond to it, which basically sends the signals to YouTube, at least temporarily, that the people that they're showing it to that are most engaged in your channel right now are just not interested in that content. So because of that, I would actually take a different approach, because you have something that's working already and it's bringing people in. I would actually, if it was me, I would start from scratch. And I know that kind of sucks to hear, but if I was going to build a personal finance channel, but then I have this other stuff, that isn't, really related. I mean, I guess it technically is. You're just talking about a different, topic within personal finance, which is, buying homes. If you plan to do more general personal finance stuff in the future, that traffic would still be able to, match the audience of the new content, then in that case, it would make sense to keep it on the channel. But if you're just going into like teaching people about real estate, then in that particular case, making something from the ground up might be the better approach there. If it was me, that's what I would consider there. Yes. Next up, We've got Yarning for a Smile. Yarning from a Smile is, let's see here, knitting and crochet, fiber arts, and more podcasts. The goal of the channel is to inspire and enable others to create daily and to provide money to cover materials for my content. Question is, how can I encourage super stickers for my niche without breaking lottery laws? A lot of my niche do lottery-style giveaways to get people to do super chats, etc. They put their names in a bucket and draw a prize, but I'm in a state where lotteries are illegal. I've got one for you that's going to bake your noodle, as they would say in the Matrix movie.
Bake it.
I'm afraid to say the word Matrix now because there's been all this like weird stuff attached to the word. So like I'm afraid to even say it, even in reference to the movie, because I'm like, people are going to think I'm a scumbag just for saying like Matrix. But I was just making a movie reference, by the way.
I can't. I think the original Matrix is amazing, and I hate that that's been connected to like this whole other thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which side of that fence you're on. I just don't like that you can't discuss that movie online. Without some people taking it
to mean something else.
Yeah. Like, no, that's not what I meant. Like I literally mean the movie.
Right.
Like that was a great scene.
Yeah.
Like I don't mean like
Not talking about the simulation that we're living in. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's controlled by government alien overlords.
Yeah. Right. You weirdos.
Reptilian overlords.
Right.
Yeah.
You weirdos.
But anyway. Yeah. But anyway, the thing with the lottery, like the thing that's going to bake your noodles is, or bake your noodle in this particular case is technically, if they are giving prizes away, then just the giveaway rules in general is something they need to declare. But if they are giving those prizes away in exchange for engagement on their YouTube channels, then technically, depending on how they're doing it, it's possible that they might actually be violating the terms of, or the community guidelines of YouTube around incentivized engagement. So because of that, just be mindful there. Like when you are, when you're giving people things in exchange for engagement, if it's a prize or something, then in that case it can get you into trouble there in terms of the community guidelines, and you're already doing something risky there, just doing lottery stuff in general on YouTube. But you just be super careful with that as it relates to engagement. So for example, if you're going to do giveaways, you can do giveaways, you can offer that kind of stuff, but you cannot say like, okay, first you got to be a subscriber of my YouTube channel. As soon as you say that, then you're violating things technically. How often YouTube enforces that, I have no idea. But just like I said earlier in the stream, I try to play things safe because we put tons of work into the content that we make. So you want to make sure that you are going to have it for a while. So so because of that, I would definitely, if you go to Google right now, I'll actually do it for you real quick and drop it in the chat. Let's see here. I'm going to send you a link right here, and this particular link is going to give you information.
Chantel dropped.
Oh, she already got it. Thank you, Chantel.
For giveaways.
Thank you. So she just dropped that in there. That's going to give you more information on the giveaways themselves. In terms of the state, that you are living in and violating their local laws. So even though YouTube is an international platform, you still do have to comply with like your local laws, because that's where you're actually, publishing the content from. So because of that, if it's going to break your local laws, then in that particular case, you should find another type of content to do.
Roberto says,
yeah, that's their problem.
If people want to take you out of context, that's their problem. But we're also living in the Matrix Skynet collab with Minority Report, Enemy of the State, Fight Club.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. So next up on the list here, we've got Yarning. Oh, we did that one already, I think. Yarning for a Smile, unless they put that one in twice. Oh, yeah, they did.
You know what's crazy about what he just said is Minority Report is just a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
And it's so far-fetched that you're like, that could never be true. But now some of that stuff is like the technologies that they're coming up with.
It's like, whoa.
It's like, well, yeah, I mean, they don't have
if they can just figure out time.
They don't have the precogs or anything like that. But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I love how movies, no matter how far-fetched they are, to some degree end up influencing science.
Right.
Somehow.
Right. Because smart people see that and they're like, wow, I wonder if I could make something like that. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I wonder if I could take out Tom Cruise's eyeballs and replace them.
Right.
With Nick Nimin's eyeballs.
Probably.
Right?
Probably. Yeah. He'd probably stop getting movies at that point, but
he would.
Yeah. So Absurd World Facts is our next question here. They do fact and history content. The Goal of the channel is that I'm a newbie for now, so my focus is to entertain the viewer and learn until one day you get monetized. And the question is, how important is it to add country and setting? Can it affect negatively on the channel if I add it? I'm from a small European country, no English speaking, and most of my views are from the USA. No, you're fine. So, so adding the country to your channel is perfectly okay. And if you add, like if you're, over there, then you're fine. If people from the USA are already responding to your content, people from the USA will continue to see your content. We'll continue to see your content. You're fine.
Roberto says the AI are the
precogs. Yeah.
Oh man.
AI is the precogs now.
There you go.
Next up.
Yeah, man, we're going into crazy.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be a really interesting next next decade. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty incredible.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put this out there. The next decade of our lives with everything that's happening with AI and just how everything is just like, I mean, everything is advancing at a speed that I can barely keep up with just reading the news. Yeah. The next 10 years is going to be, it's either going to be amazing or we are going to mess everything up. Right. Like we're going to break everything or it's going to be incredible.
Yeah. I'm excited to, I'm excited to see how it turns out.
Yeah.
Like, cause all we can do is watch the show and participate. Right. That's it. Right. So like what's going to happen is going to happen. So we just get to, participate and watch. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just interesting to see like where all the AI stuff goes with all the tension in the world right now with like all the people against like
everything.
People
against
just
everything.
Yeah, so it's just a really interesting, really interesting.
It doesn't matter what side of the thing you're on. Right. Somebody's like they're outraged about.
Right. Right. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't matter what side you're still. Yeah.
Everybody's outraged about something.
Yeah. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And it's such a problem that they have terms like doom scrolling, where people are just like, just finding all that like negative content, just spending all day just looking at like all this stuff about, horrible things that are happening in the world and predictions of people saying things are going to happen. And it's crazy. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Yeah, Neuralink, totally Minority Report stuff.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, totally. So let's go and do the next question here. So we've got Adrian Dixon Fitness says they do daily content. They do fitness content. The goal of the channel is to make D Nimin money. You see that, D? That's the goal of their channel, is to make you money. The question is, how do you stand out in such a saturated space like fitness on YouTube? I post workouts and shorts and just end up at the bottom of the pile. So when it comes to and I'll give D like 10 baht when the show is over, so that he can make money from this question. Yeah. But the thing that you can do to stand out is if everybody has big long intros, get to the point faster. If people are focused on like an individual. Like, hey, today we're doing arms, this day we're doing legs, this day we're doing stomach, whatever, and they're focused on just, those things, then you can put it together in a more organized way so that people can go into a playlist and they can learn things, in like kind of like a course structure instead of it just being like a bunch of random videos that are put up on the YouTube channel. You can do that type of thing. You can be hyper engaged with your audience. So a good example of this is like, since you watch my videos, there's a really good chance you probably watch Nate over at Channel Makers as well. And one of the cool things that I really like about Nate is how much he involves the viewers in what it is that he's doing. So like he'll ask people that are watching his content to like, hey, upload thumbnails into this with your titles and things like that. And he goes through and like analyzes it. And then he'll like showcase, the best ones and give, information on what he's analyzed and things like that. But he does like a lot of back and forth with viewers. And I think that's really cool. But like one of the things that you can do in your particular case is something like that, right? To where it's like, hey, I'm going to be super involved with my community, like to the point to where it's almost like obnoxiously involved. I'm not saying Nate is obnoxiously involved, but I'm saying like you can take it to that level if you want, to where it's like I'm really involved with this and I'm doing everything I can to actually, help people out here.
What is the fitness channel about specifically?
That can look like, it just says fitness. That can look like something like hey, once a month, I pick one person out of my community. And that one person, I basically coach that person and I help that person, reach a particular goal within that 30 days. And then over time, of course, you keep those interactions going and you give in like, hey, here's a 3-month checkup on this person or a 6-month checkup on this person that, that I worked with, when I first started my channel or whatever the thing is. Doing those types of things can help you stand out because people are like, oh, wow, they're like, getting involved here and they're actually like helping people, fix some of these problems and get themselves together. So, doing little things like that and just getting creative, coming up with a bunch of other things like that, can help you stand out with what it is that you're doing.
Yeah, I want to add to that. So if you've got a fitness channel, like when somebody says fitness channel, like that just sounds so broad. And I think a broad fitness channel, while it's not impossible, I think you've got your work cut out for you. I think if you can focus on a particular demographic,
like fitness over 40.
Yeah, fitness for men over 40 or something like that. I forget his name because I got rid of TikTok, but there was a guy.
Fitness for travelers. You know somebody that did that one too.
Yeah, fitness for travelers. There was a guy that I was watching during the pandemic. He was on TikTok, and he was doing specifically fitness for men over 50s, and that was TikTok. And he had a very rough, I think his name was Darren or something like that. And he has like a very, he's rough. He shoots it straight. He shoots it straight. There's no sugarcoating it with his content. And he would focus on men over 50s, and he would just talk about things they could do, talk about their diet, talk about everything that's important for men over 50s. And then once he kind of built up his audience that way, because I was also paying attention, he was growing really fast. And he started doing things like, hey, I'm choosing 3 men to work with. Like, if you want like personal, advice or whatever, hit me up. So he started like building up his stuff that way. The guy exploded on TikTok, but it was laser focused, targeted a certain group. Once he got to a certain size, he started like just picking people out, like you were talking about. I'll work with you privately, and it was just it was really good.
Yeah, other things too is like
targeted. It was just super targeted.
Yeah, other things too is I've lost my train of thought. Never mind.
Yeah.
So those are the types of things that you can do to stand out.
Yeah.
So next up, we've got so you're not yet decided is the name of the channel. They have been on YouTube for less than 6 months. The channel they have is chat and various content. The goal of the channel is to engage with more of an audience and have fun. The question is how to make a YouTube channel more interesting. If it's just a chat between a few friends on various topics, the conversation's got to be good. Just for starting out, the conversation's got to be good. I plan to produce content with many different concepts on my channel. Should I create separate channel and audience for each content, or should I produce them all in one channel? So the idea when it comes to niching down on YouTube, a lot of people look at it as like a restriction of content, but in reality, niching down on YouTube is more about targeting a very specific type of viewer and making all of the content on your channel a perfect fit for that particular type of viewer. So some people will isolate this down to a single person, and they'll give that person a name, right? So they'll say like, okay, John is the person that I'm making content for. John is a, male that is, 42 years old. John is interested in, so what are you doing here real quick? You're doing... just various content. Okay, so John is a male, 42 years old. He likes to listen to podcasts while he's on his break at work. John has a income, let's say like a middle class, income, and he's a single guy, and because of that, like when you start breaking all these things down for that target person, then that's where you start like pushing everything through that filter of that person, right? So then you're like, okay, well, we're going to talk about, these particular topics, but are these topics things that John would listen to at lunch? Is this thing that this 42-year-old person would listen to at lunch? Like, are we talking about like, kids video games here, or are we talking about, something that, 42-year-old would be more interested in? Are we talking, instead of talking a lot about family, since I am trying to, reach John, who is a single, guy, then in that particular case, I'm not even going to mention family in my content because that's not who I'm trying to resonate with. I'm trying to resonate with single people like John, right? So when you, break things down in that way, then all you have to do is start thinking like, okay, if I publish this video, would John love this video? Or if we make this video, would John love it? If we have this conversation, would John love it? So like when you figure out who it is that you're after in terms of, your target viewer, then everything else becomes a lot more clear and the job becomes a lot easier, because then all you have to do is just think to yourself like, okay, does it meet this criteria? And are we doing these things that would be of interest to that person? But just a couple things to think about is variety channels on YouTube are very difficult to grow. Yeah. In terms of like trying to reach a bunch of different kinds of people. The typical rule of thumb there. John Riggs says, "I appreciate that. Thanks." John, you're my person, John. Because the name,
the avatar.
Yeah, but when it comes to the conversations that you're having and things like that, the best thing you can do is just make everything for John and then put everything else on another channel, because variety channels these days on YouTube are very difficult to grow. You can, but it's just a much bigger mountain you're going to have to climb compared to making content for John, who listens to podcasts at work and is 42 years old, and doesn't have any friends and likes to watch, NFL on Sundays is how he likes to spend his days. So, or likes how he spends his weekends. So, I just recommend that you get clear on that and who it is that you're making the content for. And then from there, build everything out from there for that person. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for hanging out in the stream today. I do want to let you know that here in about an hour, Daryl Eves is going to be going live on his YouTube channel. If you're not familiar with Daryl, Daryl is he's like an OG here in the YouTube space. He works with some of the biggest creators on the platform. He is the partnered with Mr. Beast on and Sean Duras on Vid Summit. So in terms of his wealth of YouTube knowledge, like he knows it inside and out. In addition to that, he's got like 20-something gold play buttons himself from his own channels and channels that he works with. So the knowledge that he has is pretty substantial, and his approach to everything is pretty intense as well. But as soon as I hit the end button on here, it's going to go ahead and default you over to his stream. So what you want to do there, because it doesn't start for an hour, is just click the button to remind you. And then when he goes live, I really recommend that you check it out, because every live stream of his that you watch, it'll give you tons of insight on like what's important and things you need to focus on and things like that. It's a different vibe. Like here, we do like the Q&A where we answer your questions. There, he's interviewing one of his students that has had success, that have transformed their channel in some way to where they started and it was kind of like not doing that great, or they hit a plateau of some kind, and then he got them past it, and they talk about all the things that they did to do that. So it's really interesting content. It'll really add tons of value to you, as a content creator. So make sure that you check that out. And again, you're going to just directly go over there as soon as I hit the end button here on the stream. But in addition to that, if you're a new content creator, I just want to remind you that, right now you might be looking at YouTube like, man, I got all this stuff I got to learn, and, it might take me a while to get, all this stuff in place and all that. It might. However, keep in mind that it's just a learning curve that you have to go through, just like everything else. That, YouTube is more based on like, the processes of doing things and the understanding of what it is that you're doing and your skill sets involved in doing those things. Like that's what most of the success on YouTube comes down to. So just focus most of your efforts on your skill sets and on your understanding of just how to interpret what you're seeing in your analytics and how YouTube works and, all those things, and you'll be fine. So have an amazing rest of your weekend. D, another awesome stream. And yeah, everybody have a great rest of your weekend. Roberto, thanks for hanging out in the stream today. Renee, also thanks for hanging out, and everybody else that hung out in the stream for most of the duration of the stream today. Thank you as well. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next Saturday.
Yep. Cheers.
Oh, and I got links in the description. A bunch of helpful stuff. Check them out.